All right, good morning and welcome to the AM show. You know what? Yesterday I was away. Now, when I was reflecting, something clicked. I said, your name will soon be mentioned in the past. And I know a doctor friend of mine who says, what will be the verbs about you? So when you are no longer around, what will people say about you? That should be the guiding principle as you live your life today. Because when you are no longer here, how should or how will people remember you? So the way you want to be remembered must be your guiding principle as you have life today. I want to be remembered for all the good things that I was impactful in my society. What about you? I guess MFR too.
I definitely want to be the one that brought the calm in the chaos.
Good. Okay.
Definitely.
So that's going to
be my name.
That's going to be her guiding principle throughout the day. And I guess you also have yours. So please, as we move on today, let us be guided by how we want people to remember us when we are no longer around. MFR said, "Oh, I missed you when you were not here yesterday." Well, there's something. There was a reason why. I won't tell you, but I'll tell you later. You know? Okay.
But in all of this, I'd like to say thank you so much for choosing us this morning. It's definitely the AM show. You may know my first name, but I've got a middle one and the last one, Adeti Akosia, past the first one, MFI, and definitely Samuel Kojo Braze. And today as well, we'll bring you some news, we'll bring you some sports updates. We'll definitely review the news as well. And in the news review, Kojo.
We would have Carmen Nkrumah Botio, who is a lawyer and general secretary of the CPP. We would also have Professor Isaac Bodi, who's Dean, Accounting and Finance, UPSA, and Timothy Atabwade Awonterim is former MP for Bosa North constituency. After that, we'll jump into our big stories.
Of course, and from Ablekuma North rerun, the violence that ensued and matters arising to rogue security in the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, will engage the ranking of the Defense and Interior Committee. You don't want to miss this.
And also, do you know that rejecting the Ghanaian coins as a mode of transaction is an offense that can see you behind bars for 3 years? We'll tell you about the fading value of the coins in our feature story, The Vanishing Pesewas, and you can't miss that.
Of course, you should join us with your thoughts and comments via phone and also on all of our social media handles. Stay with us for that. Remember, that's the AM show. It's sponsored by Syntex Tanks. Syntex, you're tough.
Strong, like I would say. All right, so let's begin the AM show with the news.
You're watching the AM show. Now let's bring you some news updates, and we'll start from Parliament. Now, there was drama in Parliament as a cordial day in the House on Thursday degenerated after the majority leader made an urgent statement on the death of Akwetia MP, Ernest Iyakumi. Now, the majority leader, Mahama Ayariga, sought guidance from the Speaker on when the seat of the late MP will be declared vacant nearly 2 weeks after his passing. Now, Parliament Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante has more.
It was all calm in the Chamber of Parliament today before things started degenerating. Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga had sought to find out from the Speaker when exactly the seat of Ernest Iyakumi, the late Member of Parliament for Akwetia, will be declared vacant.
Official communication that our colleague had passed. So, Speaker, that decision of my colleague, the minority leader, to communicate to this House the passing of our colleague has raised some very serious constitutional matters. We quote, "Whenever a vacancy occurs in Parliament, the clerk to Parliament shall notify the Electoral Commission in writing within 7 days after the vacancy occurred."
The Speaker of Parliament then provided some guidance that until the family of the late Member of Parliament provide information officially confirming the death of Ernest Iyakumi, the clerk to Parliament will not be able to go ahead to inform the Electoral Commission of the vacancy of the seat.
The clerk doesn't just get up, listen to news, or any member and write a letter to the Electoral Commission that a member is no more. No, we are officially informed.
Mahama Ayariga did provide further clarification that in his reading of the Constitution, the clerk to Parliament have been made sufficiently aware of the death of the Member of Parliament.
I'm still saying that if you look at the constitutional provision says whenever a vacancy occurs in Parliament, the Clerk of Parliament shall notify the Electoral Commission in writing within 7 days after becoming aware. The clerk after becoming aware. Mr. Speaker, if Ghanaians ask the clerk, are you aware or not, can he say that he's not aware?
The minority leader accused the majority leader of insensitivity in terms of the way he has been going about this matter on the floor.
I would want to beg of the respected leader of the House. If he says people are calling him, saying that, what is he doing? He is a constitutionalist and all, I will plead with him. This is a very sad situation. We're all struck by this. It is somebody's life. We don't know tomorrow. Let us not create the impression that somebody is in a rush for the purpose of political convenience. And let us appreciate the sensitivity around this and not create the impression that, we are so insensitive.
But the majority leader will not take that lying down.
For the records, no one is being insensitive here. For the records, no one is in a haste. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, I have seen posters put out by the NPP announcing the wife of the deceased as their parliamentary candidate in the by-election. Who is being insensitive here?
These comments triggered the minority who deemed it insensitive and walked out of the House.
Great to say that our side feel that the issues that have been brought on this floor appears to be very insensitive to us, and therefore we are withdrawing from today's proceedings.
It's in total disrespect to the ruling or the comments made by Mr. Speaker before leaving the chair for you. Mr. Speaker admonished all of us to drop the issues and continue with today's business. Immediately Mr. Speaker left, our colleagues on the other side decided to do the opposite of what Mr. Speaker did. That's very regrettable. That is very disrespectful to Mr. Speaker, and that must be put on record.
The minority followed up with a news conference accusing the majority leader of insensitivity.
He still did not see the insensitive nature of losing a friend and a colleague who had to fight and get into this parliament. All that majority leader is thinking about is an election. All that the majority leader is thinking about is to show to the whole world that he, leader of parliament, of government business, is insensitive. It's very sad.
In the coming days, we expect some more movement on this matter. Perhaps the Speaker of Parliament will instruct the Clerk of Parliament to reach out to the family of Ernest Yakumi to finalize the processes to officially inform Parliament of the death, or perhaps the family themselves will come forward and officially inform Parliament that the Member of Parliament has passed on for the processes needed to be activated for the EC to be informed for a by-election to be organized. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Now, the Asukari Mampo Municipal Assembly is gravely concerned over the proliferation of the illegal facilities administering health services to residents in Asawasa community. In a recent joint police swoop in the deep slum in the Ashanti region, a clinic purported to be conducting illegal abortions was uncovered, with 2 persons arrested for operating unlicensed drugstores. The local assembly is renewing its efforts to clamp down on unlicensed drugstores and illegal operations of health facilities in the municipality. Emmanuel Baikweku has more.
The Asawasi enclave is one of the known hubs for illegal drug activities in the Ashanti region. Dotted within the wooden makeshift slum are local drug stores operating as over-the-counter licensed shops selling both orthodox and traditional medicines. In a later swoop by the local assembly, it was uncovered a number of these medicine shops operated without due license. The Joint Security Task Force seized orthodox medicines from shops and arrested at least 2 persons for operating without license. A clinic alleged to be involved in abortion was uncovered in the vicinity. Ben Abdallah is the MCE for Asokore Mampong.
The search that was conducted over there brought out a few illicit treats ongoing over there. There is, in fact, an operational pharmacy there, an illegal one, of course. There is also a clinic that is running there. And our intel is that they even do illegal abortions over there. And this is a serious health threat to our youth and our community. And so we have seized some of the drugs for further examination. A lot of illicit use of drugs also among the youth over there.
Days after the exercise, I have come to the vicinity to interact with some local drugstore operators. Adamu, not his real name, was arrested in the recent raid in the area. His shop is now almost empty after the 3,000 cedis worth of orthodox medicines he sold were seized by the task force.
But me only and I'm here. So I say what your director Muba has said or like me tongue abortion. But I'm sure so come on who do my reason.
When they searched my drugs, they couldn't find anything used for abortion. I can't sell these drugs. I've been operating the shop for 3 years.
So no, I got 2 years now. But drugs no there. Me go for drugs no. I got 4 months now.
He confirms not operating with orthodox medicine license, but he has that of the herbal medicines. He says the slow market in the sale of herbal drugs prompted his action to venture into orthodox medicines.
Yes. And I mean, come. Honestly, when I am moving and call and question, and I'm a farmer, so I'm for week at Cranberry and also there.
Yes, I do not have license to sell orthodox medicines, but the slow sale of traditional ones prompted me to venture into the orthodox drugs.
Because I don't know.
Their operations without regulatory approval is raising grave public health and safety concerns. The local assembly is committed to combating drug abuse and related criminal activities in the municipality, reported to be the hotspot for illegal drug activities. Ben Abdallah again.
It certainly will not end today. I mean, this is a canker that cannot be taken out in a day. It requires measures that are comprehensive enough, measures that are long-lasting, measures that will ensure that there is no repeat or recurrence of that.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Baikweku.
Creative curiosity, that is the call from the National Science and Math Quiz Mistress, Dr. Elsie Effa Kaufman, to young people aspiring to greater heights in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. According to the Dean of the School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana, young people should not be deterred by challenges that may confront them in the pursuit of higher education knowledge. Instead, creativity and curiosity should be the goal. There's more in this report.
At the 7th Speech and Prize Giving Day of Crystal Heights International School, the need to promote the study of science, technology, engineering and mathematics, widely known as STEM education, is being re-echoed. Addressing a gathering of parents, stakeholders and over 200 pupils spanning kindergarten, primary, junior high and international studies, Dean of the School of Engineering Sciences at the University of Ghana, Professor Elsie Kaufman, urged young people to embrace the challenge of innovation by pursuing what she calls creative curiosity.
Don't try to do everything by yourself, because it's always easier to lean on the strengths and experiences of others. I would like to end by reiterating the importance of creative curiosity, knowledge, persistence, and collaboration. Those are my four keys. Always ask questions with a sense of purpose. Be determined to follow up on your curiosities by applying yourself to consistent learning. When you run into challenges, keep your head up.
Meanwhile, in a bid to promote the study of STEM in schools, management of Crystal Heights International School has announced a partnership with the Ghana West Municipal Education Directorate to support interventions in those areas of study.
Since our founding in 2014, Crystal Heights has grown from a single campus to a vibrant community of learners, thinkers, and doers. We have strategically expanded our laboratories, chemistry, biology, physics, and robotics to ensure that theory meets practice and curiosity becomes discovery. Innovation springs from purpose. It's why we partner with the Ghana West Municipal Education Directorate to champion STEM education across the municipality.
As an essential tool in preparing students for the demands of a rapidly evolving world, management of the Crystal Heights International School is also making a case for the integration of virtual classrooms and interactive learning platforms.
And with artificial intelligence rapidly transforming the global landscape, institutions and economists are being urged to lead conversations on its role in business development. At a public lecture marking the 50th anniversary of the University of Cape Coast School of Business, the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Dennis Wolanyo Aheto, highlighted AI's impact on business efficiency and creativity, stressing the importance of its responsible use by stakeholders and industry players. Abigail Aisel Nkrumah has more in this report.
The rate at which AI is developing and the rate at which it is taking up our businesses and our skills, if we want to be abreast with what is going on, there is the need for us to know about AI and business.
The public lecture held by the University of Cape Coast School of Business as part of its 50th anniversary celebration was Artificial Intelligence and Business Solution. The Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Dennis Wolanyo Aheto, described the topic as timely for progressive institutions and economists.
On the theme for the anniversary, UCC School of Business at 50, expanding the frontiers of business excellence, is highly appropriate. And today's lecture directly aligns with this vision. Indeed, artificial intelligence and business solutions constitute not merely a timely subject, but also a vital discourse for all progressive institutions and economies. In recent years, artificial intelligence has dramatically transformed the business landscape, providing innovative solutions that enhance efficiency, drive growth, and foster creativity. For Ghana and other broader countries, if we may put it that way, other countries on the broader African continent, this situation represents both opportunities and responsibilities. Foster ethical innovation and promote inclusive education, as well as equip graduates not only for contemporary employment, but also for future challenges.
A senior lecturer at the UCC Department of Mathematics, Dr. Stephen Moore, addressed the impact of artificial intelligence.
Our businesses must engage proactively in shaping the AI landscape, because some of the things, for instance, when we're developing the Ghana AI strategy, many things were not available. So businesses, A lot of businesses are not using it, so we cannot tell how they should use it. We can only draw from what we anticipate or what other countries have done. But it is possible to tell once there are more businesses and companies using it, they can now engage the people who are experts in AI and tell them what they are doing and seek professional advice or solution in that sense. So do not see things as just problems, but see them as business opportunities, see them as you need to think for a solution, and that solution can become a business opportunity for you to also benefit from as well.
From UCC, Abigail Ablekuma reports. For joining.
And now some NSMQ updates. Arch rivals Ghana SHS and Tamale SHS are one step closer to clashing for the Northern Zonal Championship title, both after schools booked their semi-final spot on Thursday. But the spotlight was also on the absence of Boku SHTS, who, despite qualifying for the zonals for the first time in 7 years, were unable to travel to Tamale. Collins Frimpong has more in this.
Qualifiers for the semi-final has concluded today at the Tamale Senior High School, with Tamale Senior High School securing the last slots for the semi-finals. Tamale Senior High School came on top against Bogatanga Senior High, who came second with 31 points and also have qualified for the semi-final, because a school will be needed to make up 6 schools and also 2 contests for the semi-final slots. Bogatanga Senior High School with the 31 points came as the best school among all the losers. Before the last contest of the day, about 5 different contests have already taken place, with Tamale Islamic Science School securing 41 points in the first contest to become the first school to book a place in the semi-final.
I see it to be very good. We are delighted for the marks we got. We are delighted for what Allah gave us. But it's like we are still not at our destination. It's like going a 10-kilometer journey, but we are still at the 2 kilometers point. We are still hoping to take the zonal championship to Tamale Islamic Science SHS.
Test that we had, even though it was exciting, it only revealed our weaknesses to us to go and prepare on it and come back with more fire. So all those schools, we are aware of them, but we are not that scared of them.
Dundee School of Business also secured 42 points in the contest 2 to secure another place in the semi-finals, as well as Ghana Senior High School Tamale securing 35 points to defeat Canton Senior High School from Tumu to secure another place in the semi-final.
We are waiting for the semi-finals. We are going for the fame. We have fame to do it.
What I want to tell the other schools here is that they should watch out, because we are coming with fire, please.
The last but one contest also ended with Nandon Senior High School securing 45 points to book another slot in the semi-final.
The conflict has a lot of...
but Boku Senior High School, who also secured a place in the zonal championship during the Upper East contest with 31 points, could not appear in this particular contest because of the tensions in the Boko enclave.
Those who are new to it, they start wailing and running back to the dormitory. People are crying.
The semi-final as well as the finals will be taking place on Friday, with the semi-finals involving 6 schools and also 2 different contests. 2 schools that will top the contest will move straight to the finals, whereas the best runner-up will join the 2 schools to compete in the finals on the same day. Reporting for Joy News, I am Collins Frimpong, Tamale Senior High School.
You're watching the AM News, and Ahanta Pele comes up with business updates.
Well, in our first story, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has called on individuals and businesses to strengthen their confidence in the Ghanaian cedi as a reliable medium of exchange. Speaking at the APSA UPSA Law School quarterly roundtable in Accra, Dr. Esiama expressed concern over the growing incidents of currency counterfeiting and urged the public to be vigilant. He encouraged citizens to report any suspected cases of counterfeiting to the appropriate authorities, emphasizing that safeguarding the integrity of the local currency is a shared responsibility.
See, it's not determined only by central banks
of financial markets, it is determined by the people who use it, the people who protect it, and the people who believe in it. And recently, I heard about a story somebody was telling me somewhere within Accra where you find these currency counterfeiters. People in the area know about this, and yet they are not concerned. And so when we allow such things to thrive in society, why then are we surprised that the currency doesn't have worth? If you find anyone engaging in currency counterfeiting, whether the cedi, the dollar, or whichever one, please, my phone number is all over the place. Everyone knows my phone number. Send me a WhatsApp. I'm told a lot of foreigners are involved in that, right? They are counterfeiting Kwame Nkrumah's cedi. The cedi he introduced, they are counterfeiting it. They are destroying it.
In other stories, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has disclosed that government has cleared arrears owed to the trust from October 2024. According to SNIT, it has also received commitments from government to settle outstanding arrears from January to date. Speaking to Joy Business, Director General of SNIT, Kwesi Afre Baini, stated that the clearance of arrears is a significant development for SNIT as it will improve the trust's financial stability and enable it to meet its obligations to contributors.
From the beginning of the year, the Ministry of Finance has been very helpful in the payment of contributions for SNIT. At the beginning point of the year, there were arrears from October last year. Those arrears have been cleared by government. From January to date, government has been on track with their payments to SNIT. And I would want to commend the Finance Minister and his team for a good job well done. We are tracking well with some of the things that we sought to do. One of the things that we sought to do was to expand coverage. And we started the year by delivering 2 new branches for SNIT. We also said we were going to deliver a virtual branch by the end of September. Again, part of the broader strategy to expand coverage. We've also announced today that we are in partnerships with banks to deliver what we call co-location. And we are pretty confident that that enables us to scale from the current 53 branches to about 100 touch points. Because we've identified banks, the conversations are ongoing, the systems are being put in place so that we can then provide SNIT services at the banking halls of some of these banks. And that will scale up the contact points from about 53 today to about 100 before the end of the year.
And that's it for the business update on the AM News, and that actually does it for the AM News as well. But we now move on to sports, where we bring you the special interview of Black Queens midfielder Jennifer Kujo ahead of the match against Algeria in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations.
So the Black Queens are yet on another journey. First trying to win the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. They had a turbulent start, but the final win over Tanzania means that they secure progression into the quarterfinal stage. We are joined by one of the captains for the team, the vice captain, Jennifer Kude. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Mr. Huchin.
That's it.
Go now, sir.
Jennifer, take me through a first WAFCON experience. How has it been for you?
I mean, it's been a great experience for me. The atmosphere, just living in the dream. Before I came here, I knew like this is something I've never experienced. So I've just allowed myself to go through all the motions, the prudent, the bad motions and all of that. So it's been a really good experience for me. I've enjoyed every minute of it at this count here.
Look, quite a lot to talk about from qualification to the big stage. The big stage is where we want to focus because I've had a bumpy start to this competition. How was it for the team, for you as a captain, vice captain, during this moment, the first 2 days?
I mean, if you look at us, like this is our long-time debut film, bad film competition, and I feel like people need to understand like the game is changing, players are developing, teams are developing, and there's so many aspects to get a better teams. So for us, we've worked together for so long, even though there's been on and off times, where we're not in camp and stuff. But I think in all, it was how it was supposed to be. I wouldn't say everything is happening at the right time. And even though we didn't start it well, but I think it's also a way for you can see the progression that we have. And that's how it is as a team. We're building something great. So even though we didn't start well, that doesn't mean that we're not going to improve and we're not going to progress. I'm excited that we've got to qualify. And I think it also gives us confidence. And then on the what we building, it's working. And then there's still more that we have to do. So yeah, we're excited.
I mean, a lot of pressure headed into that game against Tanzania. As a group, look, how hard was it for you, or how important did you know that match was for you?
I think we all knew how important. We didn't want to go home. We've had games over games. We had every tournaments that I've been to. We get off in group stage at the 20 and the 72 World Cup. All of them I get off group stage. So this not only for me, but every single player knew like we cannot just go home just like that. So we had meetings when we did what we had to do. We listened to each other. We put everything on the table, knowing what exactly you're paying for. And I think last night showed a little bit of what we actually focused on, and we wanted to get things done. But it all comes to motivating each other, trusting each other, trusting the system, following plans, and everyone. I think everyone was just forwarding the idea of like, we are growing. This is the last time. We're not giving up. And I think it works out. And you can see the fighting spirit and the desire for everybody to give 100%. So no.
You talk about that first half performance be quite chaotic, and then the second half, it's almost as if it's a whole different team. Take me to what was the message at halftime against Tanzania that put out the Chidas half performance?
I mean, I feel like because we lost few games, there's pressure and everything, and it's the pressure is good. You're meeting a team. It's not just any other team. It's not like it's easy for us to go in there and walk over them. They have their strategy. Every team that plays out, they have strategy to just mess us perhaps. We, the players, we just have to know when to play our game, our game. And I think the beginning we were in the rush because we wanted to win. And when we went by, he was more of like focusing on the game plan. And I think it was in the second half to see us were controlling the game, we can keep the ball and everything, and I think it works.
I think you answered the question right, but I also want to know, what was the team message that the coach left for you in that dressing room at half-time? Because it came to the pitch quite earlier than the players said. What was the message in the dressing room before the match?
I think basically he was trying to say, this is like give everything, This moment doesn't just come all the time. This is your moment. Own it and embrace it. I think that's what the message was about. Like, trust each other and play for each other. That's what he said.
While you were on the pitch, were you also thinking about that game between South Africa and Mali? Was you knew it was going to? I'm sorry, between South Africa and Mali. Did you look to were you thinking about it, knowing that it could affect your chances of finishing either second or third?
Oh yeah, I mean, the first game, and then that was definitely like, it's had a mad time where we have to think, okay, this. But I think us winning the game, all we wanted to do is just win. And I think that made us even score more goals, because if let's say we want to score 5 or whatever, we might have gone in a different mindset, but we went in thinking we want to win. And I think that brought out everybody's, work ethic and then the connections and all of that. So those games tested us, which is good. And I think now we're going into the game, we're going in a bit by bit to get into the game.
Next for you is that game against Algeria. I mean, they're decent side. Forget about the fact that they not won too many games, but they're decent side. They not consider the goal in this competition. How big of a test is that for you?
I mean, they are definitely, they're also one of the strongest teams. They definitely be similar to Morocco, Tunisia, and all of them. So I think it's going to be a good game, and it's going to be a good proper starter game where we played and that both teams can play. So it will be a good game. But I think we know why we are here. We know what we're thinking, and our focus is to just go and follow. However, we finished the group stage the same way we go in with the mentality of winning and just tackling it how we know we're going to get information in and just go with it. This is not going to be easy.
how are you, known 20 players are new to this competition? How are you able to communicate with the experienced heads in the team to ensure that they keep a cool head and not get overexcited or not get under pressure?
We have players that, like you said, we have great captains. We have players that they feel comfortable going to, our senior captain, or going to me, or going to Cynthia. So we all have a different relationship with each player. But in general, too, we try to have conversation. We try to remind them, like, as much as it's your first time, that doesn't mean that whether you were young, you can still play your game, We try to give them a little assurance and freedom and let them know, like, this is their platform, this is where they deserve to be. And if you were here because you are bound to be and you deserve to be here, so they should play the game. Like, we give them the motivation and then also the calmness of knowing, okay, no matter what happens, just do what you can do. Just do what you are going to do and what we've been told to do, and I think the rest will happen.
Jennifer, coming to this contest, I need there's a target for every team. What has been the target for your sit by yourselves, for your team, and heading into the competition?
For me, before I even came, a year ago when we were talking about this upon race, definitely something that I'm not able to let my whole mind, my body, my soul was in it. And I was trying to understand it, how it is, because I've never played. And so lucky I had the mentors, I had very close friends, coaches that I always talk to them about, like, I'm trying to, like, this tournaments, I want it to be something special for me. What are the things I can do, working on the things I need to work better at. Like, every day it's a brain that there's never day that I'm going to be perfect with everything. So, those people were able to guide me through all of that. By me personally, my goal is to make sure that I become one of the best midfielders in the tournaments, you know what I mean? And also be one of the best in the tournament anyway. But as a team, I'm like, whatever I need to do to help the team in any to make sure that I give everything 100% to the team so when I walk off the stage, I know that I gave everything. So to help and make sure that we get into the final. So that's the biggest goal, yeah. What else, sir?
Look, something just came to mind yesterday after the Denver event. Almost all your teammates had made it into the bus, but you were still yes. So what was going on?
No, I was getting tests for looking. It's well.
Tell me about it.
I mean, everybody was enjoying, and I was ready. Then I had to, step out, go to the OP, because it's normal, it's happened. So I didn't get yourself bit, but I think even when I was in there, I was just thinking about all the chants and everything that I'm gonna miss. But also, I was just happy that we got the win and be able to stay and then make courses and do things better. But in all, I'm just grateful and happy to be here and be part of this team.
Like, one thing that has been a problem or has been a challenge is the fact that there have not been too many Ghanaians in the stadium to point, but there has been the Ghana supporters and they come out African, they can pay. How crucial have they been to your progression and to this team and then going forward?
I mean, they've been massive for us. The day that, they came into our training and everything gave us the confidence that, we have people that they're backing us, We have our families and friends back home, our partners and all of that. They're all back home watching us. But it was good to feel like the Ghanaian presence here. And they've been a massive support. Like when we play, we see them like it's like, yes, they are here. They're representing our families. So I'm grateful that they were able to be here and then they were going to be with us through the tournament. So I'm really grateful for them.
At which particular stage in this tournament would you say is a success for Team Ghana?
For me, I think but now we've crossed the bridge. I feel like getting into the semi-final or final. I think either way, where we get from now going, I think it's a success, I mean, success isn't building a day or whole something. Look at where we are now. Look at where we've been, 2 years ago, we were completely different, We had a qualification on. So I think the success have already been there it's just been a bit by bit. Well, I say everything we're going to do is we'll be fully successful. Maybe winning this tournament will be successful, but for me, success will be after winning this tournament or wherever we get, that transfer into the next thing, how we're going to be in terms of moving forward and how the Ghana women's football is going to be. That's, for me, that would make a bigger success for the area.
Talk about winning the tournaments. Beating Nigeria means you meet one of Morocco or Mali. Morocco, we know our familiar side because they've been in 1 or 2 family between ourselves. over the last year or even this year. Which team would you rather want to face at this single?
I mean, either one of them. I think if right now you want to meet any team, I know people are worried about, little things, and we can't do this, we can't do that, but they need to understand football is football. You step on the court. There's no, you can play beautiful game and not win. You can play any broke game and win, you know what I mean? You just got to discipline and do it. I think from now, anything we need, we're going to do what we have to do, and then the rest, God will do the rest. Now, we don't know what it could be, but all we know is the job that we have to do. So we are ready for any other team, for sure.
What would be your message to Daniels that have supported this team from the very first day, right? Sir.
I mean, I'll say that I'm thankful for them. They believe in each and individual players and supporting players and understanding the game and giving support. Sometimes these games where, it didn't go well. We hear all the, criticism, and it's good. But we want them to also understand, the game is broad, it's changing, you know what I mean? People are growing as well, but we hear them and we support them, because without them, we won't be able to be pushed there, we won't be able to get better. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're watching the AM Show, and thank you so much for staying with us. The AM Show is sponsored by Syntex Tanks Ghana. Let's talk water tanks. Now, do you know that the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. That's right. The tortoise tank, Syntex tank, is a champion of water tanks. It's strong and it's durable and built to handle our Ghanaian weather, rain or shine. Syntex tank has your back. So my people, go outside, check your tank, and if it doesn't have a tortoise on it, it's time to upgrade. Join the Syntex tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. You can call them on 0244-335-168 to buy now or find one of our 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex tanks are tough, are strong. Now, news review comes up shortly, and we're going to be reviewing all the biggest headlines. And I've got my guests in studio. We've got Kwame Nkrumah Boakye, General Secretary, CPP, and Professor Isaac Boydi, Dean. He will be joining us a bit later. Dean, Accountant Finance, UPSA, and Timothy Awanterim, former MP, Bulsa North Constituency. Thank you, gentlemen. And how has your week been so far?
It's been great.
Been great?
Good morning to you and to my brother and your cherished listeners and viewers.
Thank you so much. You can just go on and pick any of the newspapers that you prefer. And whilst you're at it, you want to tell me which one of the news headlines has got your attention. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the newspaper that you have decided to work with this morning. But what's in the news that has your attention?
Well, I would start with a statement made by the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Deborah. And that statement, it ties in with what the Osajifo said, that the great are those who serve the greatness of humankind. Or in other words, what our Lord Jesus Christ said, that for the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many. And the Chief of Staff reminded those on boards, and I quote, "Board membership is not merely about prestige, but more importantly, about providing clear direction and oversight. Without strategic direction, institutions risk collapsing." I think that statement is very apt for where the country is now, because a lot of us occupy positions and we forget about why we are there. We become obsessed with the frills, with the secondary issues, forgetting that the primary focus of service or being in leadership is to direct things in a way that you bring success to the institution that you are heading for the greater good of humankind. And ever since he made that statement, it's been ringing in my mind. Even we as politicians, sometimes we occupy positions and we may forget why we are there. We are not there to lord it over people. We are there to serve people, to also help them to achieve their dreams.
Thank you for such a good start and a very positive one. It's good to see you again in how many weeks and months. I hope you're well.
I am doing well, and I thank God for his mercy that we are here once again to see how best we can contribute to the discourse of this country. Let me say good morning to Nkrumah Bosiu. He's been a great guy. We'll be meeting often.
Yeah.
Good morning to yourself and to your hard-working team and to our viewers out there. Just like he put it, you see, it's a privilege to serve the people of this country. If your party is in power, and among the thousands you've been given the chance to serve, you must serve the people wholeheartedly. And I keep saying that, you see, when you are appointed, first of all, you are appointed because you made a manifesto to the people to ensure that their lifestyles are better than what you came and met. You should not use the institutions for which the resources of this country have been bequeathed to you to use them judiciously to your own benefit and to the detriment of even the political party that brought you into power. Yesterday, I was watching the number of people. The OSP has finally concluded investigations on allegations that were brought before it, that they were now to be young before the courts. And I was wondering how it could be so, because a very prominent fellow, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, who before they won power and came, he cried on national television saying that this country has been depraved, the presidency has been dirtied, wallahi, we need to save this country. And after that, you've been given the chance to save the people of this country. And if at the end of the day, you are being hauled before a competent court of jurisdiction to answer allegations leveled against you, then we must bow our heads in shame as politicians and as people who normally come before the people. You criticize the whole government that is there, you pontificate good governance, and you come in and all what the people get is that you leave them with huge debts. And I've often asked the question, do we really believe that our state institutions are running at a loss? Can we say that with what is happening, with a quantum of resources and money that run down aground, we completely use the money for our own lifestyles? And
I mean, because you started off with the OSP and the NPA matter, it's just an allegation.
That is what I'm saying. That's what I said.
Would it be a shame if there's an allegation against you and it hasn't been proven yet? Why would it be a shame? Why would they want to bow their head in shame?
No. We have to bow our head in. To even come out with such allegations, I've seen someone who cried on national television talking about a waste in another government. Your stewardship should be clean. There have been other people that have come out, no investigations have been found against them, no allegations whatsoever has been brought against them by the OSP, and they are going to go squeaky clean. So even for me, if I sit today and I say that ABC, then I'm given the chance to serve the people, I should not go back to what I said to the people. That is the real issue. The real issue is that even though there are allegations, it should not be that allegation should even be found within your stewardship at all. You see, let us be honest with what we do. These are Look, the money is involved in almost every institution that has been left about, that has gone wasted or allegedly taken by leaders of this institution. It's huge, absolutely huge. Can you imagine that if these allegations are proven to be true, 280 million, do you know the number of boreholes?
A little over that, actually.
Yes. Do you know the number of boreholes we can use this to get clean water for our people dotted across the country? And I believe that each polling station, we have over 40,000 polling stations, will be able to get a borehole. And even I'm estimating that because there are areas in the cities that do not need boreholes. They get good clean water from Ghana Water Company. But look at across the country. And I believe that it's about time we hold our appointees on various institutions responsible.
You realize that whilst we're asking for accountability for persons in government or appointees or people in power, we're not questioning those who as well play a role in the alleged corruptions. If you hear the OSP quite clearly, there is extortion, which means that they were extorting from persons as well. And if a government appointee extorts from you and you do not give it to them, it won't amount to extortion, right? Why did they not speak up and wait till the OSP want to investigate?
It's an interesting question. Why did they not speak up? What were they doing? What did they want the government appointee at the time to do for them? They need to get their palms greased. If it is so, what are the quantums? Do you do it to the detriment of the larger population? Do you put your own interests ahead of what we are all talking about? So it has not even really matter what did the people who went to the political appointee at the time to ask for. What were the look, there are a lot of, what do you call it, contracts that they've entered into. That is at the detriment of the people of this country. For instance, if you look at SML at the end of their tenure would have taken $1 billion. $1 billion, now cities, $1 billion. Do you know how much? And these are government officials who have been given the mandate to ensure efficient use of state resources, scarce state resources indeed. If you enter into any contract, and the one you are entering into the contract with benefits from the people of this country, it's a wrong contract. It's absolutely not correct at all. And we must be mindful of this. That is why when we talk about the research is not just about the institutions, but even people who have been appointed to man our institutions must have a mind to reset and do the right thing. We've gotten to a place, look, it is so annoying and irritating the amounts of monies that have been found to have gone wasted.
Let me
Leaders of these people live like Arabian kings.
Let me just take a minute to introduce Prof because he just joined us. Prof, thank you for joining us this morning. Before I come to you, let me, Kwame. Yes. So he's been talking extensively, but maybe let's just kickstart. Maybe, Prof, say good morning. And how's your week been?
Good morning to you, and good morning, my good friends.
Good morning, Prof. Prof, you're looking great.
And you too, as always. And good morning to your cherry viewers.
Right. The week has been quite eventful, so much in the news. What's in the news that has your attention?
Not this particular week, but I'm sure because it's been a process, it's worth commenting or saying something about it. You realize that the country has been quiet after almost about 6 months now. And I was under the impression that any government, when the government takes over, the citizenry will give the administration a breather. So it was a normal processes, that the goodwill, until a friend of mine, a lady friend of mine told me, look, I think you are preaching to the choir. It's a simple issues that we have in our country. One, you know, those who were previously holding the neck of the previous administration, currently they are looking for their positions. Appointments have been given, and those who don't have are still looking at those appointments. And for the MPP or the other political parties, the opposition parties are also struggling, trying to restructure their base. And therefore, any issues that we have in our country, it appears we hardly will not talk about. In fact, I'm making my comment based on two issues that we've, in the past few, not months, but weeks. One happens to be the cancellation of the fuel allowance.
Okay.
And one has to do with the IMF kind of remarks they made about our city.
Yeah.
The injection of the forex into the system. These two issues have gone unnoticed. In fact, when I heard the instruction, cancellation of fuel allocation to ministers, I was happy. Because then I could say, if we look at my salary and how much I take home, and you tell me you want to cancel fuel, I should see a component in my salary that will be slashed. So I was under the impression that these appointees or the ministers, those funds that they receive is going to be taken off. But I realized that they are all imbibed in the ministry's allocations. So I checked about 30 ministries, the allocations. Only 8 in terms of 2024 and 2025 have been reduced. Out of 30, about 26 have gone beyond the previous administration. So if you take that of the government machinery, in 2024, the government allocated 1.8 billion. When you look at 2025 allocation, 3.8 billion, a difference of almost about, a change percentage about more than 100%. So if the government tells us they have reduced or canceled fuel, and these costs are found in the ministry's allocation, then invariably, you've not canceled anything. So your station engaged one of the appointees of this administration, Samima, and the presenter asked, tell us how much you have spent from January to date and the projected amount you are likely to save over a period. He was very honest and said, well, we have not estimated that. We are yet to. Today, I don't know how many days after, how much we are supposed to realize from the cancellation. We don't know yet. 2, if you have this cost still in the ministry allocation, what they are doing in a sense is that if you want to move from the ministry to maybe another company to do a routine check or something, you go and request and you are given. So it is not a cancellation, per my own analysis. The other thing is on the IMF injection of the capital, which the report came out. We are aware, in fact, we said this time and time over the period, that look, the cedi appreciation, we've had about 20% increment appreciation over a period. There could be something artificial happening in the market. IRPP, which I'm a proud member, will caution this government. Other think tanks also cautioned this government, cautioned them and said, well, we see this as more of artificial. In any way, if the cedi appreciate, we all enjoy. We don't have a problem. So when we check the report of IMF, it said the government should reduce the footprint in the forex market. From January up to date, we have injected almost about $1 billion into the forex market, just to ensure that the cedi will appreciate. And this is more of artificial. And we said it. We waited for IMF to come and confirm. That's why I started by saying that I think we are not, I don't know if my perception is still valid, that the government has should be given a breather, a space to breathe. It's normal. But I think that either we are too comfortable or we have achieved all our goals as a country over time, 6 months now, and we are not questioning the administration. And when an average Ghanaian is quiet, sometimes don't take for granted. You should find out why they are quiet. Because sometimes you may be thinking, out of your good policies, but these are 2 things I've identified. 2 are last week and this week.
Okay.
And we are quiet on this.
Yeah, there are quite major issues as well, started from last week, and I recall that I engaged Shamima on that.
Oh, you did?
Absolutely, on midday
right.
news. And she mentioned clearly that, well, they are quite certain about we're not giving you fuel when you're from home en route to work. But if you're at work and you have to perform any duty internally, we will have to look at all of the nuances that will come in.
But that's going to increase cost.
Okay. Okay.
You see, I wanted to, the fuel issue.
Okay, but I want Kwame to take a bite on this fuel issue, and then we'll now go on the newspapers and start with the big stories there, and maybe start from Parliament because of that minority walkout, because the majority leader asking that Speaker will declare the Akutia seats vacant. But take a bite on the fuel allowance.
Regarding the fuel allowance, from the details I have seen in the media, and from my own research, the full allowances for the ministers have been cancelled. And that means that whichever allocation, whether in coupons or in cash, which was going to be given to them with immediate effect, has been scrapped. That is what my research has shown. And it is a step in the right direction. Because when it happened, I listened to some sound bites, and some MPs who were speaking about it on both sides stated that even as MPs, they do not receive fuel allowances. They rely on their salary to move around. The ministers, appointees, and others, they may have extra duties to the state, especially the ministers who are appointed from Parliament. The appointees, I suppose, their job is to work for the state. They may not have constituencies. The MPs, they have constituencies. They support committees and other things. So you can say that maybe the only people that will be most affected are the ministers who are appointed from Parliament. Because not only do they have to be going to and fro their constituencies, but they will also have to be attending to government business. Be that as it may, whether appointees, ministers, parliamentarians, anywhere that we can make savings in order to save, in order to help the poorest of the poor, is a step in the right direction. Because it's very easy to think that things are going well when you live in the city, or even within the city. If you haven't been to the slums and other places, you may think all is rosy. But there are times when even in a posh residential area, you can speak to your neighbor and realize that their children have been home for weeks because they cannot pay the school fees. Yeah. However, if you see the way that neighbor is attired, you would even want to ask him for money. But it's on a day-to-day basis, the struggles of, I wouldn't even say the average person, the struggles of everybody, because everyone is struggling with one thing or the other. And if we can make savings to help in those areas, it's a step in the right direction. And I really commend His Excellency and the NDC government for that. And I understand where Prof is coming from, that from his research, there's only 8 out of the ministries which have implemented it. I would want to believe that maybe it's a gradual implementation. I would say that maybe it's a gradual implementation.
Timothy, I'll come to you, but Prof has my attention because when I engaged her again, I wanted to know if this decision is because of the fiscal emergency that we have. Something caught my attention. She said that it is part of the reset agenda. Again, she said, of course, look at this. How much significantly do you think we can save from this for it to be part of the fiscal emergency? So now you're asking the question of how much are we really, really saving? It has my attention because then it looks like, well, because of the whole reset agenda, because the government probably wants to look good, it will no matter whether it's a major impact, whether we're saving real money or not, they have to take the decision. But Timothy, take the bite on this.
You see, Prof.
Prof, and I'll have you rebut on that.
I think this morning, essentially, even though Prof was not here, and the two of us talked about state institution, how to absolutely reduce cost for the people of this country to benefit from. The president said that my appointees, listen carefully, and I was so scandalized when immediately the announcement came out. Someone like Samuel Wuku came out to say that, Honorable Samuel Wuku came out to say that the CEOs of the state institutions and they take fuel is different from what the president said, and that they should go to the Flagstaff House and another place and put off the fuel stations. What infantile analysis is that? Look, let us be honest. The present appointees are those who go through the public commission to be interviewed first and foremost. If the president makes you an acting CEO, You are not yet you are not yet employed. You are acting. You must appear before the Public Service Commission to be interviewed. When you are interviewed, then you are given your employment letter with the emoluments and the benefits and the privileges attached to it. And it includes fuel allowances to you. It could say that maybe in a week you are taking 1,000 liters of fuel. That is the fuel the president is talking about. What goes to you? What goes to you as an individual because of the position you are occupying? If I'm the CEO for Buffer Stock, my position from the Public Service Commission could say that it includes medical, DSTV, protocols, and so on. That fuel that is allocated to you. Personally.
Not what is allocated to
but
the institution.
No, listen to me.
Okay.
You have been appointed as a CEO. Prof is sitting there. If the University of, what do you call it? PSA. Say you go to Sanoma and perform there, they would have to take off his bills and his night allowances. That is official. But probably his employment letter tells him that as a professor, he would be entitled to certain number of liters of fuel, either a week, monthly, or quarterly. That is part of you. It is, but your official fund, you cannot say a minister should travel with a Land Cruiser from here to Sanoma using what the amount of money that he's paid as salary. It is not done anywhere in the world. But the extra amount of food that is given to you as part of the conditions. In this case, the president cannot say that the judiciary, which is an organ of government, if they are benefiting from fuel, their fuel should be seized. He said, my appointees. If you are not appointed by the president and you're a teacher or whatever public servant you are, as a result of the institution employed, that is not part of it. It must be made very clear.
Okay.
So if you're a member, if you're a parliament, for instance, the speaker cannot, the president cannot go ahead to say the clerk of parliament should not benefit from fuel allocation that is given to him as part of it.
So hang on, let me, and help my understanding.
Yeah.
For example, if my agreement or contract between the government or whoever appointed me says that for me to be the clerk of parliament, you're entitled to this amount of fuel, then parliament in itself has a budget that's been allocated to it.
Yes.
And in that budget, it says that fuel allocation to clerks, this and that, is this amount of money.
Yes.
That one is not...
No, because the president did not appoint the clerk. Yeah.
Okay, it is to
yes,
Parliament.
Yes.
So Parliament has to be the one allocating that money that's been allocated to them, to the clerk of Parliament.
Yes. Parliament is an institution, the judiciary is an institution. The president does not appoint chief directors.
Okay.
So if the condition of chief directors allows them to take fuel as part of their conditions of service, the president can, because they are not his appointees.
Okay.
So Prof, teachers or directors of education who are supposed to be there are not part of the president's appointees.
When you have...
Now let me land on this.
I think you've landed all. There's
I
another
was
way
going
to
to
land.
those who said that they should go and close the fuel pumps at the...
I think those officers there, yeah.
Timo, let me finish that. You know, a policy should not be ambiguous.
Okay.
A policy.
Prof, it's not ambiguous.
It must be clear.
It's very clear.
What is
extremely
when we say
clear.
political
Crystal
appointees? What is the meaning? Political.
Let me.
No.
I will answer the question.
Don't explain. I will give you the opportunity. I'm trying to. Viewers can understand. You can Google and check the list of political appointees.
Yes.
If you come to my institution and you take my salary structure, there's a component of fuel allowance that I receive.
Yeah.
You know, my rewards are in heaven, so very small. Very small. So when I happen to be a government appointee, the government tells me I'm going to cancel, I expect my disposable income should be reduced because of that cancellation.
Yes.
So that's the picture we had before, when this issue came up. So we then had to go into the pay slips, find out how much. So if you take a minister or a government appointee, that amount, there's nothing stated in their condition of service that I'm going to give you X amount. For that matter, when I cancel, this money is going to be all this, we're going to, no. They draw from the ministry allocation. And I gave you the government machinery. How much? The reduction is not, the increase is just allocation. So if the government says that I'm going to cancel from your interview with Shamima. It tells us, if you want to draw on that allocation, that allowance over there, it means that it's going to be strictly monitored. You'll be given, but it will be monitored strictly. So if you want to travel from here to my university, you have to account for. So when you count for maybe 100 cedi worth of fuel, and then you go to UPSA and you want to go to Gimpa afterwards, you have to come back and draw.
If the Gimpa that you're going to is your personal, if it's you that's going.
If it's your personal, and you are going there for unofficial duty, this one was clear, unofficial assignment. To be strictly be monitored. So it's not something that you are entitled
That's
to.
why they got it wrong.
And
Okay,
for that
I think
matter,
the policymakers are around. I'm sure they will still break.
That is why a policy must not be
ambiguous.
Yes.
I
This
think that's
policy
quite
is
clear.
not ambiguous. It's very clear. It's crystal clear as the sun.
I would have thought the water, the sun.
Whatever
burned.
it is very clear.
So
let me tell you something.
If we're coming out with a policy, you should be able to estimate
How
from day
much?
one.
Well, I think
How much have we spent from January to today? How much are we going to, in terms of projections, annually? You ask a very good question. Tell us how much we have spent. Tell us in terms of projection annually, how much you are going to get. This should not be difficult to because you are trying to save an amount to push.
Yes.
In fact, there was something they even stated in the letter.
Yeah.
They said they will channel this to priority areas.
Yes.
I don't hold this administration,
we just want
make
to
it
open
difficult.
with it,
But the point is that you should be able to identify the priority areas. How much will be going to? I gave you figures about allocations of this ministry.
Yes, Prof, you see, you are dragging the matter. The matter is simple. Don't.
No,
Prof,
okay, let's
to you, it might be simple.
No, listen.
Okay.
You know DSTV. The president cancelled DSTV. Fuel allocation to his appointees. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Okay.
Prof said it this morning. Fuel is given to you as a prof to go about. That becomes part of your disposal income. That fuel that is also allocated to the CEOs personally is part of their disposal income. The president has said constantly that we must reduce waste. And that if you're a appointee and you cannot buy your fuel, you don't expect the state to buy it for you.
I think Shamima confirmed.
This is going to be counterproductive.
No. You see, let's make this.
It's going to be counterproductive.
It is not counterproductive. No appointee is saying that.
So like what? For example, if you drop from home
official
to the
fuel
office,
is there.
Yes.
Let's get the things clear.
Okay.
Officially, no fuel has been withdrawn. What is the counterproductive? Prof, we are talking about figures. The budget review will be on the 24th or so. The figures will come out.
Here's a projection. So,
even
Dr. Sharaf,
I've seen Dr. Sharaf. I didn't even want to go into it at all.
Okay.
But the budget will make everything very clear.
Okay, then let's proceed. Let's make progress. Let's make progress.
This
Timothy,
policy
let's make progress.
is correct. There's nothing wrong with it. We are reducing costs. We are pushing the money to build to help the people of this
Let's go to Parliament. There is that
Prof, you know this
that emotional or bizarre feeling where the country is quite torn. A good number of people think that it is quite unemotional for the majority leader to even start a conversation on the declaration of the Akwetia seat vacant in Parliament, whereas the minority thinks that, of course, that is insensitive. He says it is constitutional. There's nothing about him being unemotional about it and all. What's your position on this?
Even though traditionally and culturally we are very compassionate, I just remembered Osajifo said that we must build on our traditions to help us get to where we want to be. And there are times when you have to be stoic. When it comes to issues of governance, you have to put feelings aside. We are all sad that Honorable Ernest Kumi has passed away. But the people of Akwetia need to be represented. And the Constitution states that when it comes to the notice of the Clerk of Parliament, then the seat has to be declared vacant and the Electoral Commission has to be notified, and within a certain number of days, a by-election should be held. Honorable passed away, I think it's been about 2 weeks.
Nearly, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
almost 2 weeks. I think it was, I think it was a Sunday. I think it's about 2 weeks or so. So it's very sad. However, the wheels of governance must move on. The majority leader, by asking it to be declared vacant, I don't see wherein lies the offense, because even the minority have stated that when they get to Akwatia, then they will protect themselves because of what the lessons they've learned from Ablekuma North. And we've heard in the grapevine certain candidates being proposed. So the fact that the deceased was closer to them, and they are the chief mourners, they are the bereaved, it does not mean that they can approbate and reprobate. It does not mean that they can go ahead and be making plans towards winning the by-election.
And yet not
and
official.
Yet someone else cannot also put things in place in the interest of the state.
Okay.
I mean, Honorable Afenyo Makin is somebody I really look up to a lot, and he's doing a great job with constructive criticism of the government. I believe that the present NDC government is learning a lot from him and the minority with their constructive criticism. However, I think with this, he went a little bit overboard to even boycott sit-ins because of this. I mean, they are mourning. The feelings are hard, but that is the nature of death. Sometimes when you go to the mortuary to even pick up a loved one, the way they are even treated, you get a bit upset, but death is part of life, and the living have to do their best to move on. As Osajifo said, he said that we cannot afford to be complacent in Africa. We have too much to do, too much to achieve. We have lost about 430 years of our history with slavery and colonialism and all that. I'm not here to put the blame on this person or that person, but we are far, far behind. We have a lot to do.
Let's just make progress.
Let's make, and we have to, it should be at breakneck speed. We have a lot to catch up for, I mean, for the sake of our children and grandchildren. So we shouldn't be so consumed with these things. It has happened, but that is why the law is there. If the law wasn't there, we would all depend on our emotions. There are aspects of the law that, even as a legal practitioner, sometimes I have to implement either for my client or against another person. And it does hurt me, but the law is the law, and in the long run, it is for our own benefit. In the short term, it will pinch, but in the long run, it's for our own benefits.
Right.
The majority that has not erred. I think we should go ahead.
Okay. Prof, I know because you used a very interesting word, ambiguity, today. Yet again, are we seeing a form of ambiguity in our law, especially because it says that when a seat becomes vacant or when a person dies and then vacates their seat and it comes to the notice of the clerk, they didn't tell how when it comes to the notice of the clerk. And you as well will hear the speaker say that unless the family of the deceased person officially, culturally, notifies the clerk by himself cannot elect himself to show up in Parliament and tell Parliament that this person has passed on. What is wrong with that provision in the law?
I think you asked this question as if I'm a lawyer.
Forgive me.
I don't know.
Forgive me. Attempt it and then we shall pass it to the lawyer.
I'll give my 2 coins on the issue. So, interesting discussions. There are a few questions that I would equally want to ask, and I don't know whether we can have answers to those ones as well. If you check the headline, we'll come to the headlines. But Akwatia MP death. Then we have minority fires insensitive Ayariga. Well, I am not too enthused about the words that have been used. Fires and 2, insensitive. That description, I don't want us to even debate on that. The practice, I don't know the practice in Parliament.
Yeah.
But once someone passes on, I don't know the procedure. How many days must we take or weeks to declare the seat vacant? I don't know. Have they gone beyond the days?
Oh, wait, 7 days, is it not?
Yes.
7 days.
7 days.
7 days.
It should be the.
I think from what I followed with various sound bites I heard, that within 7 days of it coming to the notice of the Clerk of Parliament, it should be announced to Parliament. It should be announced to Parliament. However, the number of days from the announcement to it being declared vacant, I am not too certain.
Okay.
So all of us, they will know better than we do. I don't know the nuances, the things that do happen over there, but the point is that we should know how many days it should take to declare a seat vacant. If Ayariga, coming out to make that statement, was aware that they had gone beyond the days, then I'm sure it is fine to say we have declared the seat vacant. All right. So that is what I can say on that. But let's also go into the issue. This is a sensitive issue as well. When a family cannot see their beloved one forever, it's a serious issue. And he's a very young man who was passed on, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. But my issue is that the debate and the fire should not start from now. You know, after Ablekuma, the next place where we are going to have issues will be Ablekuma. I mean, Akwetia. Already, the other political parties have also vowed we also will respond. I don't want this heat to start picking up from now. If we are beyond the days of declaring the seat vacant, that's fine. But the walkout,
right?
Do they have a right to do that?
But I'm sad. I'm emotional. I cannot engage in government business.
I don't think
I cannot be trying to function properly.
It is part of the parliamentary procedures.
Right.
You have a right to walk out. It doesn't take anything away. We've seen several walkout before. Previous administration, this current administration, several. So if it's within their right, they acted within their right, that's fine. They can walk out. But the point is that we should also be sensitive about the death of this person. Then Akwetia by-election must also be, we watch out. Well.
Okay. Timothy, I mean, because you've been in Parliament before, I don't want to remind anybody of their past, but this is not novel. It's happened in Parliament before. And I don't know if it ever happened when you were in Parliament, if anything of the sort, and if you remember how it was dealt with in Parliament.
Yes, when I was in Parliament, Edward Salia passed on at the time. But you see, traditions, conventions are integral part of the law. They might not be written down, but because we've practiced them over the year, and they are not, they are in consonance with the primary law, they become part of our practices, and it's accepted worldwide.
Absolutely.
First of all, who announced the death in Parliament? It was Afenyo Markin. That wasn't insensitive. When the guy had just died fresh, they had not even put him in the freezer, you came and announced.
No, it was in contest, because that day there was government business that was supposed to happen.
I'm saying that. What I'm saying is this. They were talking about insensitivity of Ayarigas calling for the clerk to declare the seat
vacant. Yes.
And I'm asking that who first announced, when you were announcing, when the death was at its incipient stage, what was much more insensitive? When you had just died, a minority leader comes to Parliament and announces with glee that you have passed on. That is not insensitive. The issue has passed, like we talked about, within 7 days or 7 days. It has gone 2 weeks. In any case, John Kuma's death, he was also in Parliament when he died. There are other members of Parliament who died when they were sitting members of Parliament.
How about we
was
situate it quite well?
Hmm?
I recall we took that live view here on the polls, and the minority leader stood up and said that he'd like to bring to the attention of the speaker what has just happened. So if he could allow them to suspend sitting that day.
Yes, I remember sitting was suspended, yes.
Sitting that day, at least for them to go back, not just to proceed, have a normal day as if nothing has happened. I would see that more as an emotional and a sensitive call, rather than describe it insensitive, or?
Yes, yes. So, for instance, like they all said this morning, even at Ablekuma, they started talking about what is going to happen at Ekutia. That wasn't insensitive. We've seen an issue, we've seen in some cases, even the body is still lying down. And yet people have been nominated to go and contest in other constituencies that it happened in the past. They are not even buried the body at all. In some cases, they even go ahead to nominate the surviving spouse, the wife. The wife is mourning, you pick the wife to go and contest, which is more sensitive than that, which is more untraditional and unconventional than when you use the widow who has not yet finished mourning and then the body is lying down to go and contest because you feel that suits your whims and caprices. But because you are reading into a situation where the Akwatia elections might not be in your favor, you are evoking issues of insensitivity. Really? And it can lead to the boycotting of Parliament. As if you have a premeditated mind to boycott Parliament and you were just waiting for something like that to happen and then you take advantage and boycott Parliament. Like both you said this morning, governance must continue. We're in this country when President Mills died. Within 24 hours, the Vice President was sworn in. We were mourning. I remember I was in Washington for a program with 2 other MPs when he died and then the message came. Immediately we cut short our distance and came back. Okay, the whole country was thrown into mourning. But government business did not come to a halt. It continued and so on. So which is more sensitive? What are they talking about sensitivity here? We saw people who were in drips, who were carrying in an ambulance to Parliament because bills wanted to be passed and that when it's time, they will go and vote. Why do we do that to ourselves in this country? Why do we do that to ourselves? Fine. As we talk this morning, we empathize with the family. It can happen to anyone. We've all lost dear ones and then friends. But when it goes beyond losing the fellow, there's nothing you can do about it, my sister. We leave it to God. And life continues. And activities continue because we do not want those who are led by hand to suffer as a result of the vacuum created by your absence and so on. You understand? So when the issues come up and then you just get up, come and hold a press. Even the press conferences you were holding were all insensitive. It was much more insensitive than what was being described on the floor of Parliament. Let us be careful in this country and do not evoke emotions where there's no any emotional evoking in this country. You do this as if this is the first time it has happened in Parliament. And so why? Is the law not clear on this issue?
Talking about the law.
Right.
The law that deals with it is Article 112, Clause 5 of the 1992 Constitution. And it says that whenever a vacancy occurs in Parliament, the Clerk of Parliament shall notify the Electoral Commission in writing within 7 days after becoming aware that the vacancy has occurred. And a by-election shall be held within 30 days after the vacancy occurred, except that where the vacancy occurred through the death of a member, the by-election shall be held within 60 days after the occurrence of the vacancy. After the occurrence of the vacancy, which would mean that in the case of a person who died, which means the person would have died, may not have been buried, but once 60 days has happened, the by-election has to be, yes. So the 7 days is when the Clerk of Parliament should notify the Electoral Commission. Not even Parliament. Not even Parliament, the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission. However, it says whenever a vacancy occurs in Parliament, the Clerk of Parliament shall notify the Electoral Commission. Okay. So the slight ambiguity here is that does a vacancy occur immediately the person passes on, or do you need a declaration of sorts in Parliament to state that indeed the person has passed on? So declare it vacant. It's open to interpretation, but I, in my little understanding, I would want to go with, when it has to do with death, with other issues like crossing carpets and all that, it becomes a bit complex.
Yeah.
But when it comes to death, it's quite black and white. It's straight jacket. So that one, I would say that the 60 days should be calculated from the day of the demise.
Okay.
And I know that the speaker spoke about he not relying on media reports and other things. When it comes to proving death in court, it's strict proof. What you are going for, probate or letters of administration, you have to bring a burial permit and death certificate and all these things. However, when it comes to such high-level occurrences, just as a court can take judicial notice that something is of such wide knowledge that you can take notice of it, I don't think anybody demanded to see
whether it's true, whether or not he's died, he passed on or not.
It's of such general knowledge that you can take judicial notice of it. And we've all taken judicial notice. I'm sure Parliament has also taken judicial notice, especially it's been announced on the
day
floor of Parliament by the leader of the deceased MP's party. It can even start counting from there, because which evidence is more reliable than your own team captain stating that you are no more on the team?
That's some good.
So the 60 days has started counting. What the majority leader probably wanted to do was to bring some formality to it, to declare it formally vacant, so that out of an abundance of caution, the 60 days will not keep on dragging.
Yeah.
So that there will be a starting point.
Yeah.
But you can see that the 60 days started from when he passed.
That's. I hope you had your pen and paper. That's some law education this morning. Prof, I see you were noting a few things.
It's not interesting that in our country, minor issues are turned into politics. Someone passes on, we have to have by-election, a seat to be declared vacant. And today, we're all sitting here, turn into politics. Look, my father told me, anytime he wanted to hide money, this man will keep that money in a book. Because he knows he will not read. He will not go there to pick the money. Because he will not read. It boils down to education. Like my good friend this morning, educated, and I asked a question, how many days have they exhausted all the, if they have done all this, you and I will not, even the people will not capture this. The walkouts, the insensitivity statement and all that, it won't come up. Just because we don't have a background to some of this. So it boils down to education. Every sector must find budget to educate the practices within the ministry or an organization, which is able to help us to understand some of this.
Yeah.
I don't even have an idea how many they must take to declare a seat vacant. And the person tells us, declare the seat vacant, and then the whole country will have a press conference, and then we are talking about this morning, the whole radio station we're talking about this. Something trivial. You are not sensitive, I'll fight back, and then it's chaotic. What about that? It's too serious.
Okay. The Daily Analyst this morning has got the OSP charges former NPA CEO, others, over 280 million Ghana cedis, extortion and money laundering scheme. While you're addressing this, let's address as well the former ambassador to the Netherlands, Dr. Tony Edu, saying that he's not too sure the OSP. Says it looks as though he doesn't know what he's about. We're here again with another charge, huge sums of money. My question to you, gentlemen, this morning is that, do you wake up the next morning hoping that indeed these people, if charged, if the OSP will see through and through? Do you get that? Do you get that feeling? Do you have that confidence in the OSP whilst you're addressing these charges that the former NPA vehemently says no, he's happy to go through the process and everything in court with the OSP, but indicates that he has not received any charge sheet, has not been served yet? Timothy, take this first.
Why should I take when the Prof is here? But you see, people have had their commentary on the work of the OSP, starting from Martin Amidu to the current one. Sometimes we push our officers in this sensitive and investigating institution to the brink. We expect them, and this must be done in a meticulous way, such a way that when the issues are brought before a competent court of jurisdiction, you would see your case through. And it might take time. It takes time to gather information on issues of corruption that people are so skillful in hiding them under the earth. People can take corruption money, it will mutate completely into another thing altogether. Yesterday, a friend was telling me that, do I know how some of these monies are? I said, no. That they use them in buying. I was so surprised. You know, there's casino cards.
Yes,
the casino cards. Yeah. That they can use some of the money and buy. One card will cost up to $1 million. Wow. So when they are shipping them out, you might not know. You say that these are casino cards. These are casino. I was so mesmerized when he told me that. Wow. That the casino card, they can, some of these proceeds, they can use casino and buy. And when they are shipping them out, you say, I don't have gold. There is gold out there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He talked about money laundering. Money laundering is a sensitive area. You need to have a meticulous tracing. There should be a trace up to the point that you can come out concretely and say that, yes, I have evidence to show that team laundered money to Prof through this means and so on. All in all is that we want our resources that have been stolen by people, allegations of stealing from others, to be retrieved, because we are confronted with a lot of development challenges. We see that most of our discovery in terms of our resources go to individuals and so on. And I'm completely scandalized about the type of people who are there, especially Dr. Hamid. I think I've got the name right. It's the CEO, because this was someone who cried, looked at corruption to be a no-go area, mentioned that, in fact, this country has been depraved, the presidency has been muddied, and he started weeping. And people were tapping his back. Stop weeping, don't cry. Wallahi, we must save this country. And if you say that in your stewardship, I keep telling, make sure that you are not caught up in even allegations, any iota of allegation against you in terms of the misuse of public money and so on. That he set up issues of setting up a loan. Why would you set up when there's a board? There's no any law backing it. These are things like Prof was saying, we don't know. There are things that you must know. You do these things when you are being chased, the people say you are persecuting them. You are not prosecuting. Why would the Attorney General and the OSP come and then hold press conferences, for God's sake? This is a participatory democracy. We ought to know what is happening in terms of our resources, its use, and so. So citizens must be periodically educated or briefed on national high-profile crimes. This country must stop the bleeding. The bleeding does not even go to the poor people in this country, who are the peasant farmers, the Zumalayan workers. People cannot get drugs. People cannot get better schools and so on. One fellow is brought into a position, within the next 4 years, he's building mansions, and when you want to talk, people are telling it's persecution. Really? Then why did we set up the office to investigate? Then we shouldn't set up an OSP office. And for Dr. Tonedu, brilliant guy, I like him. In fact, he has been one of my mentors in terms of his philosophical analysis of public policies and issues and so on. But I humbly say, and with respect, that I disagree that he's not doing his work. I have been an investigator before. I know what goes into investigation. For 10 good years with Shrag. And he's a lawyer. He knows what goes into investigations. The OSP is such a guy that I believe that he wants to leave a legacy behind. Long legacy that after his tenure of office, people would say that these were the sensitive crimes that he prosecuted, especially a government that appointed you. You know, it is easy to fight corruption when you are fighting your opponents. But when you are fighting your own, it is a very difficult issue. And that is where you really see governance working. So for me, this case that has been brought, the number of people is a platform for them to go and exonerate themselves accept culpability or otherwise. It is not an issue to politically muddy the waters and to say that they are being haunted. They must be haunted when they also haunted the resources of this country. When you're a hunter, then you go and hunt someone's game. And the fellow says, you must hunt you too. So no one should read the OSP, the Attorney General is doing great work. The President has given them his full cooperation. All of us want to see that resources that have been taken unlawfully are retrieved. If you retrieve, and the OSP has said time and again that most of the cases that he has handled, and I think I saw the analysis on your TV yesterday about the fact that I think about 7 cases that have been now. He has prosecuted. Some of them, background, what do you call them? Negotiation, what do you normally call them?
Plea bargaining.
Plea bargaining.
Yeah.
And the monies have been retrieved up to 4 million Ghana cedis. There are more. Plea bargaining does not mean that if you give them money, you're going to go scot-free. In fact, there are profits are tied to it and so on. And you must still be punished for that in any case. So even the 4 million that he retrieved, I don't know what 4 million can do. Less than 4 million Ghana cedis, people with dialysis died.
Yeah.
Our friends and family died. About 18 patients or so because they could not pay. As we talked this morning, a lot of people cannot even fend for themselves. So 4 million is big. Let's retrieve that. Let's continue the prosecution. If with this 280 million Ghana cedis, it's huge. It's a budget for some countries. It's a whole budget for a country. So if we do that and then the monies are retrieved, about 100 million, 80 million, whatever it is, will be used for the benefit of this country. But I believe the OSP that he's doing it. Other people have different opinions about the way he's going about his job. But for me, where I sit and where I look at things, I think that he's on the right track. Okay. And I will not take anything from His Excellency Dr. Tonedu and other people, not just Dr. Tonedu.
Others who have believed that.
Have also expressed that. But for me, where I sit, I think he's doing a meticulous job. He's hardworking. He knows what he's about. We should support him. At the end of his stewardship, we'll be able to look at the issues and do proper introspective analysis of what he has done.
Kwame, do you agree? Do you think the OSP is doing a meticulous job?
I have disagreed with the OSP on a few occasions on his methodology. However, on this score, I would say that I totally 100% disagree with Dr. Tonedu.
Okay.
And what he said was, and I quote, so far, you've had the Attorney General in quest for transparency coming out to reveal steps that he's taken to bring certain persons to book. But so far, we haven't seen any prosecution yet. And I don't trust the special prosecutor. He talks big, he talks small, and he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know whether by prosecution he means conviction. You know, there's a difference. There's a difference. When you put somebody before court, you have filed the person's charge sheet, docket, statement of facts in court. You have set a court date, then the prosecution starts. From what I know, there's one prosecution which was supposed to start July 17th, which is yesterday. The NPA issue I hear is coming on July 23rd, 23rd or so. When it comes to prosecuting cases like this, you have to make sure you have all your facts together before you go to court. And as Honorable said, even casino chips can carry money. You know, financial crimes, and I have to say that the suspects or the accused, they are presumed innocent until proven guilty. So this is not personal on them. However, in order to take a case to court, you have to make sure you are very meticulous. I read somewhere that in Japan, the moment you are taken to court on a crime, there's a 99% probability that you'll be convicted, because it takes so long in doing their investigations that before they arraign you before court, that means that they have an airtight case. The OSP wants to get an airtight case before he takes things to court. I know that initially the amount bandied about was 1.4 billion or thereabouts, but now it's, I think it's about 284 million and something, and 19 pesos and something like that. So I honestly speaking, Dr. Tonidu is somebody I really look up to, but I think with this, this criticism is not based on any empirical evidence.
Okay.
The OSP, the AG, I disagree with them. On sometimes even the number of days that they may hold some accused persons. But if you say that you haven't seen any prosecution yet, that would be inaccurate. I think the NSA case the prosecution has already started. There's a difference between prosecution and conviction. Conviction means the case is over, the person has been declared guilty. They've been in office for only 6 or 7 months. You understand me?
Yeah.
And the court has to be thorough. You cannot just railroad things through the courts. You understand me? They have to make sure that all the evidence is exactly as it is, because people even manufacture evidence. You understand? In order to exonerate themselves, and sometimes so in order to have people convicted. So the court has to take its time. Their lordships have to take their time to look through and then arrive at a decision. So I think it's very unfair. 6-7 months is too short to accuse anybody.
Okay, yes. Prof. I see you're making very cold notes, yeah? But generally, your assessments of the OSP, generally?
The OSP is an independent anti-corruption agency. In any day, all of us must support OSP, the office. Fantastic job since this guy, this man took over. In fact, whenever I want to talk about OSP, you have to be careful because after the discussion, you are likely to be picked up.
No, that's
on a lighter note, so I'm careful when But you see, we must support all these institutions. For me, in any day, I will support any outfit or institute or institutions that are to fight corruption, because it becomes cancerous. Let me give you a background to how much we have promised. Let's start with ORA and I'll come to OSP. A shocking almost 18.8 billion promised by the ORA to retrieve. And I can give you the low-hanging fruits. 1, 25 billion spent on banking sector cleanup, reported by ORA. 108 million ambulance scandal in ORA captured. 130 million from overpriced COVID testing contracts, ORA. 48 million in unauthorized African Games expenses, ORA. 111.9 million for non-existent Polygo Dam. The last one is up 2.8 million blown on undelivered Sputnik V vaccines. It's just about 5 or 6 I've given you. You have about a lot of the cases, and the total gives you almost $18.something billion.
Interesting.
Huge. Wow. What is the duty of OSP? First of all, is to investigate and prosecute. 2, recovery of stolen assets. And sometimes they have preventive measures as well. About 3 mandate or responsibilities of OSP. You rightly mentioned how much they have been able to, the pre-bargain or so, about 4 million, which is good. At least we can see results coming. But if I've mentioned this amount unretrieved at the moment, and these are the low-hanging fruits that we can easily tap and get funding for our country. Anytime you want to fight corruption, look, for me in Africa, it starts when the person's appointed.
Okay.
That's where it starts.
the due diligence, declaration of assets. You declare your assets, and some in other context, people are asking we should add liabilities as well.
Okay.
To know the equity,
Yeah.
the brand, the person, take the asset, take the liability. You should see the actual figure of that person before the person assumes office. That's where it starts. When was the last time you saw a list of all government appointees declaring their assets and the value?
Right.
When the person's about exiting from administration, the same OSP or the same administration must go back and check. You came through this back door. When you're coming, your assets or your equity, you stood at 4 million. You are exiting. How much are you going home with?
Right. Question that we as a country must be asking.
Yeah.
We've all got must be asking and seeking answers for. We've got 30 seconds to just wrap.
But the conclusion is that we should not judge people publicly.
Okay.
Before they have opportunity to talk, and that's what is happening. But my last request is that this administration, my good brother Timo, very wonderful gentleman. I'm also adding a voice. Our administration must find something for my good brother. Very solid guy, great asset to our country. And when they are giving the appointment, please, we say have more. So please.
Come in 30 seconds just to wrap.
Okay, so I saw a news item yesterday about how I forgot the name of the military, but one of the military top brass engaged the Boko Traditional Council, and I was overjoyed to see that. It's not always about the barrel of the gun and instilling fear and threat of sanctions if you fall out of line. It's about engaging, join, and that is what will bring about peace. I want to see more of that.
Timothy, time is up. 30.
You know, there's a front page story. Expedite $125 million ratification for VIA rehabilitation bank, Well Bank. So it's one of the most exciting. Like Prof said this morning, we use things that are of no national interest. We should be discussing this. The VIA dam.
That seat is an important seat to discuss. While I agree with Prof, thank you so much. Thank you, Timothy, for and Kwame. Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for news review. We have had Kwame Nkrumah, but your General Secretary, CPP, lawyer as well, and Timothy here as well joining us. And Prof, thank you so much for all of you joining us on news review. Please stay. Big stories and many more on the show coming up. You're watching the AM show. Thank you for staying with us and for this conversation I'm passionate about. If you're a woman, you're even more passionate. And guess what? The men are even getting curious and even getting more passionate about this particular topic. Now, this morning, let's talk about Part Her She Flow campaign. And in studio is joining me Janet Kwachi, and she is Programs Director for WAWEF and Project Management Consultant, and as well Frank Okante. He is Marketing Manager from the West African Women Empowerment Foundation, which I just told you, that WAWEF, and a life insurance consultant and a realtor as well. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me in studio.
Good morning.
Tell me a little bit about the West Africa Women Empowerment Foundation Festival.
Great. So the West Africa Women Empowerment Foundation is a non-profit that is focused on empowering women in Africa, specifically West Africa. And our goal is to be able to give them sustainable livelihoods so that they can reach their highest potential. Because we believe that when women are empowered, communities thrive, and therefore nationally we develop our country. So this is a little bit about West Africa Women Empowerment Foundation.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Janet, for just letting us understand. But Frank, tell me, for this particular campaign, what is it about and why there's the need for it?
Great, thank you so much for the opportunity. So menstruation, it's a big deal. It's something that growing up we never spoke about. And so it's become very important for even men to be looped into the conversation. However, this project basically seeks to educate girls and women on staying healthy, also providing them with extra and even more sanitary products, as well as making sure that every girl who is deprived of having this is provided. And that's the reason why we have come together with two companies, Winnie Toya Rural Child Foundation in the North, as well as Mindset Mastery 360 to take this initiative to the next level.
Okay. Now, Janet, in the North, is this like a major concern? Why did you choose the North?
Absolutely. So on records, we have a lot of deprived communities in the North. And we've observed that over the years, a lot of these projects are done in the South, especially in Accra. So this time around, we said, why don't we go to these places where they are very marginalized and they don't usually get such opportunities? So we decided to partner, like my colleague said, with Winnie Toya Rural Child Foundation because they are based there. They've started something like this. And so we said, why not partner with them and do this on a large scale to kind of empower 300 girls, because that's our target, empower them for a whole year and also giving them the menstrual health education that they need.
Okay. I mean, maybe a bit difficult for a question for a man to answer, but let's attempt it. Because while menstruation is a natural thing for a woman, as a marketer, how have you found it very difficult to communicate why it is a normal thing and people and their cultural beliefs, traditional beliefs should not really make it difficult for us to talk about menstruation? Have you encountered that?
Yes, I have. Great. I have because I think when it comes to the male species, men, boys, it's not something that we've been sat down to be educated about. We've not been told that menstruation is a natural thing that comes with every girl from the age of 12 and above, okay? And so we are not in the known. And so we find it like a taboo. We don't even know what it is. And sometimes when a lady menstruates and we happen to be around, we feel like, wow, what's wrong with her? Do you get it? And so it's a conversation that we all should have, because the point is this, MFA, when a lady is in that mood, it affects us, okay? It affects...
It does, eh?
Right.
Mood swings, lack of appetite, and even, everything else. And so it does not even allow good communication. But once I know that between 15th to 20th of every month, my woman, my wife, my sister, my mom goes through such a thing, if she behaves anyway...
You buy us chicken wings.
I understand. You get it.
Okay, Jonah, so particularly you're providing what? Sanitary pads and what date is this happening?
So 22nd July in the Upper East region, specifically Miracle Kasana in the West District, in the Upper East. So we're providing sanitary pads for 1 year for each of the 300 girls. And also menstrual hygiene education, because they need to understand what is happening with their bodies before, during, and after their menstruation. So this is what we'll be doing.
That's really good to know. Finally, for you, Frank, tell me where we can find you if anybody wants to help this foundation and all of that. How can we be part of this project?
Great. So our doors are open to everybody. So as an organization, we have a website that is www.wawef.org. Janet will share a few more. And what we're saying to everybody is, aside reaching out to help financially, there are people who are also interested in this project that we're undertaking. And so all hands on deck, and let's put a smile on a girl's face.
Thank you, Fang. Janet, finally, who should help? What hands are you looking for on this deck?
Everybody, organizations, both non-profit and profit organizations. The government has already taken a good step, so we also look for collaborations with government agencies, international organizations, individuals, parents, religious leaders. Everybody is welcome to support. My colleague rightfully said, you can contact us through our website. All our details is there, but on Instagram, we are wawef.org, and across all board, Facebook and LinkedIn. And also, if you want to reach out to me as the project manager, you can email me via projects@wawef.org, and we can get in touch and get started on how you can get involved.
Thank you so much, Janet.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you very much, Emma.
And do stay. There's more on the show. You're watching the AM show, and let's do some award celebration because I've got the persons who won this year the Ghana Science and Tech Explorer Awards. We're going to be talking about how and what that is all about. And this morning, I'm joined by Ifwa Asante Esiama, and she is the Executive Director, Dream Oval Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I've also got the Technocraft Inoa, I said the group, and they're the winner for that group. I've got the winner for that group, Sarah Amde, also joining me. I've got Elikem Amu, the Saiji as well. I hope I got the technical names correctly. Yeah. But luckily, we've got Ifwa here. So please tell us about the G-Step exhibition and awards. Tell us about it.
Thank you so much. So I'm Ifwa Isiame J, and I'm the Executive Director for Dream Mobile Foundation. We implement a program called the Ghana Science and Tech Explorer Prize Program. It's a science competition that's meant to inspire junior high school students to play with science, to play with STEM kits, and to help them develop solutions to community challenges. Okay. So for example, if you're in a community that's facing galamsey, perhaps you want to invent a water filtration system. If you are in a community that deals with deforestation, perhaps you want to invent a seedling system. And so this year, we were so excited and happy to have solutions from all over the country, from students who are willing to invest and develop ideas to community challenges.
Right. Which project stood out for you?
Personally, the winning project, obviously, Technocraft and Aware. They invented a geolocator vest that would help prevent kidnappings and would help parents and guardians know where their children are at all times.
Okay, then let me start with you, Sarah, because that's quite innovative. First of all, did you know that you're going to win?
Okay, so we didn't expect it, but we had confidence that we'll win. So knowing that we've won the G-Step 2025 challenge was so exciting. We felt so confident, and it was mind-blowing.
Okay, now for your team, how many members?
We have 6 members.
Okay, and so you're representing your team. Yeah. Do you recall all of their names, at least, so we can celebrate them as well? Say their names.
Okay, so we have a wonderful team leader, Asantua Tando, and Colin Esinam Amedeka, Kobi, who is Kwabna Denchi, known as Kobi. Okay. Okay, and we have Nibra Sani Adams. Okay. And Vanessa Ansa.
Oh, that's outstanding.
And our wonderful teacher, Madam Felicity Bronia. We love you so much.
Right. Tell me about your project. What did you particularly do? I mean, if I've just been telling me what you did, but what went into that innovation?
Okay, so we realized that in Ghana, over 610 cases of missing persons have been recorded, with the majority being children in 2024. And in fact, in San Antonio, Texas, 46 dead bodies were found in an abandoned vehicle. Yeah. And in fact, one of our team members, Kobi, was involved in a tragic kidnapping situation, but the timely intervention of an elderly woman saved him in time. Okay. So all these incidents motivated us to come up with Inaware, a smart safety vest, to help with location tracking of a child who is in danger, such as being kidnapped, lost, or abducted with no way to call for help.
So we wear this vest underneath our clothes?
You can wear it on top. You can wear it anyhow you want.
And the kidnapper would not know that it would tag them?
All the components have been discreetly embedded in such a way that no one will ever know that it's a tracker or something.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the best feature of Innowear is that it's actually a cooler too. In Ghana's hot weather, we embedded a cooler inside.
Okay.
Yes.
That is extremely innovative. Let's also talk to the first runner-up, Saiji. So what project did you, what did you come up with? And her name is Ablekuma. Ablekuma, what project did you do?
Okay, so we came up with this idea because about millions of people worldwide are visually impaired. So my team and I came up with an idea of bringing up a device that can help the visually impaired navigate their surroundings safely and independently. So it's a smart assistive goggles for the visually impaired, and it's called Second Sight. So that Second Sight, it has a GPS integration which helps to give direction to the visually impaired on where to go, and it works hand in hand with an app we created called Saiji. And it also has an AI camera which helps to identify the type of objects in front of you. So whether it's a tree, human being, chair, table, etc. And it also has a charging system. So just in case the battery of the goggle runs out, you can charge it using a USB cord.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, what went into planning and putting all of this together?
Okay, so our inspiration, it came from, there is this teacher in our school. He's partially visually impaired, he's partially blind, so he has struggles when navigating around the school compound. Sometimes he must ask someone to help him before he can move around. So we brought up with this idea that maybe we should create something that can help him and other visually impaired people, because they find it difficult when navigating their surroundings and also have struggles as well.
Congratulations. Do you also recall your team members? How many are you?
6.
Do you recall all of them?
Yes.
Okay. You want to say their names so we shout them out?
Okay, so we have Bevelyn Obute.
Okay.
She's the product designer. We have Benjamin Asari Okain, the software developer. Blessing Tebi, the hardware engineer. Lordia Ewaba, she's the team presenter. And Seth Asante, the team lead. And I, Elikem, I'm the team's researcher.
Okay. I suspect that you, Sairam, were the team presenter. Were you?
Yeah, I was one of the major presenters in our team.
Of course you were.
And I'm also the project manager.
Tell me, how long have you been running this project? What's been the success rate so far?
Yeah, so we've been running G-Step since 2021. So this is our 4th year, and it's the best year ever.
Oh.
This year, we decided to scale down but deepen our impact. In the previous years, we worked with maybe 100 of teams, 120 teams. But this year, out of 1,500 applications, only 50 teams rose to the top through their creativity, critical thinking, and grit. They had the most unique ideas and commendable opportunities for growth, and we're really excited about their work.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know that for STEM, it's been very theory. What really pushed or inspired you to want to go practical? And of course, because we don't have a lot of, a technological maybe product to aid this practice, the practical part of it. Tell me what pushed you to want to move away from the theory to the practicals of it.
Yeah, so practical hands-on learning, the approach to science and learning is at the foundation of G-Step. We believe that children, and not just these 2 young girls, myself included, is playing with your hands, being able to create, being able to ideate, is how you truly learn to master a subject. As such, this year at our first semi-finalist stage, we provided STEM kits, which were sourced by Shulem Lake, one of our partners, for the students to be able to create miniature versions of their prototypes before finally creating the huge versions that were exhibited at National Theatre this week. We found that our students are able to be more effective, are able to be more inspirational when they have the actual materials to play with. There's nothing I can explain to you what an Arduino kit is, but until you play with one, you really don't understand the capabilities.
Absolutely. For Dream Oval Foundation, what is this project? Where are you taking this project to? What's the vision for you?
Yes, so G-Step is actually implemented by 4 organizations. That's Dream Mobile Foundation, Partnership Bureau, Shulem Lake, and Practical Education Network. For us, our long-term vision is that every child in Ghana should have G-Step in their schools. It is imperative that the public sector owns this and that it's implemented at every level, Right now, we're offering it to junior high schools in the Greater Accra, Eastern, and Ashanti regions. But it would be excellent if every region in the country, every school in the country has an opportunity to experience G-STEP.
Okay. From today, what's the next step? What should we expect from you?
So expect from us G-STEP 2026.
Nice.
The applications open September 1st. We're excited to see all the other ideas that are coming out. We'll be coming to your communities to tell you about G-STEP. And so when we do, please welcome us and join the application. We're really excited for this next year.
How can we apply?
You can visit our website at gstep.org.gh. If you just type G-STEP into any search function, we're on all social media platforms. You can learn more about our program. We're really excited for this year's competition and these winners.
Perfect. Finally, before I go, Sarah, what do you aspire to be? What do you hope to be? Finally.
Okay, personally, I love doing research and doing other things. So I want to be a microbiologist and a doctor at the same time, so I can help people whilst doing my passion.
Nice, you have my full attention. And Ablekuma, what about you?
When I grow up, I want to be a chemical engineer.
Not surprising. Congratulations to you both on your teams. And I'm certain that the others didn't cry. Did you all win something as well?
Yes, every team got a consolation prize, but our top winners, we had to commend for all their hard work. Yeah.
Congratulations. And Ifwa, thank you so much. Wish you all the best as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please stay. This is the AM show. Big stories coming up. Welcome back to the AM show. Now, a 7-year-old boy was left humiliated after he soiled himself, all because a public toilet attendant rejected his 5 20 pesewa coins. It's part of a growing trend in Accra's market where traders and service providers increasingly reject the country's smallest legal tender, forcing prices to be rounded up. But lawyers warn it's illegal and offenders risk up to 3 years in jail. Jemimando explores the fading value of Ghana's coins in this feature, Vanishing Pesewas.
There is a growing frustration in parts of Accra as vendors, transport operators, and even public toilet attendants continue to reject Ghana's 10 and 20 pesewa coins, which are legal tenders issued by the Bank of Ghana. Fordjour Ibrahim sells spoons at the Kingsway Market, but recently, her concerns have stretched far beyond the goods she sells. A few weeks ago, she handed her 7-year-old son 3 20 pesewa coins to use the public toilet near their home at Abusokai Zongo. What followed left her in shock.
Your coins are a dinner and a major issue. Nancy of late, me Beljuma, and I'm a mammy ban 20 pesos me son. Say, yeah, baby, so did I offer uncle. Me go and I can this canna so quite a pamuno, say in this cano, into a toilet.
Fordjour says customers are now rejecting the coins in the markets when she gives them as change.
It's better to my banning in penny for one say, your pacho, and he fat. Your pacho, if I know my sign, and if I know my issues are than say, your 5 pesos, your 10 pesos, and 1 peso, and me and D. A buy na issue statement, we say me and D coins na. And I say coins no, and I am so, and I am fast. And I say, yet, will be to add the coins, mano, especially 20 pesos, 10 pesos, also on Gia, also on Dia, anything.
Fordjour is not alone. At the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, Mavis Kwanda has been selling coins for nearly a decade, providing traders, trotro mates, and vendors who need change to keep their businesses moving.
There's obi buane coins now kwasa wukoje. Now kwaji we no. Now kasa wunji 20 pesos ni 10 pesos ni kanwa on farm because me de baha yensisa odi ma obi a oso ompe. Ban son kan so di ma obi a ebini wan say no say men hihye obi aba odi ma na osisika we de yendi biem ebini.
Now these coins were meant to make small payments easier, when the cedi was redenominated in the year 2007. But today, they are slowly disappearing from everyday transactions. At the Circle Lorry Station, the branch secretary, Ni Amponsa, says many drivers and bus conductors now refuse to accept the coins.
A lot of passengers, the drivers, and those who sell here are always complaining. They don't refuse, but they reject it. The moment you give it to them, they don't collect it anymore. Because it is not now usable. From my point of view, it's no more usable. You can't use it anymore.
With 10 and 20 pesewa coins now being rejected, sellers are rounding up prices. An item that used to cost 30 pesewas now goes for 50, and trotro fares that once gave change no longer do.
The driver was on the station because of coins, 10 pesos, 20 pesos, no money. A problem here at the mine. Any panels of paper no one city. When you saw 20 pesos, 10 pesos now, almost 6 cities, no man 10 pesos. Or see for people at 12 carnum. When you be so man, suppose we are crown for, and therefore I see 70 pesos, open 6 cities. Into all the time you are near Contoqua.
Sikan, what they try the NJ. What is so be or be so on pay? Even Utana came on pa, mate for some munji. No, the walk. Miss Amoba me also. Betra then I mean this is someone. Me this is someone almost a munje. Miss Mintiase because I buying and castle with trim. I buying trim way. But what the try there is a menji, what is almost a menji. Into I am passe or munji. Into Abanya will be my.
That there is no reason that the currency that has been issued as a legal tender, you will reject it. All the currencies, 1 pesewa, 5 pesewas, 10 pesewas, 20 pesewas, 50 pesewas, 100 pesewas, 200 pesewas, and for that matter, 200 Ghana cedi, 2 Ghana cedi coin are all legal tender. The coins are very, very necessary to stabilizing prices, because in its absence, people will be rounding prices. And one interesting thing is that the coins stay in circulation longer, and it helps us as a nation to save on printing notes. So please accept the coins.
You could face 3 years in jail. Yes, as many as 3 years in jail, or in addition to the jail term, you could face 700 penalty units. That's about 8,400 Ghana cedis. So you are not allowed to determine on your own, when the country has laws, determine that coins is a legal tender and is being offered for the purchase of goods or payment for services, and you refuse it because, it's inconvenient to you.
The 10 and 20 pesewa coins remain legal tenders, but more and more people are rejecting them. And when this continues, it is the poor who suffer the most. In fact, the people who count every coin to survive. Without small change, they end up paying more for the same things. Jemima Ando's report read to you.
Hello there, welcome back to the AM show, and let's talk about something very interesting. All the time when I meet Elder Amos Kevin, and I know that something nice is about to happen, but this time around, we're talking about the Brave Boys Boot Camp. It's always a pleasure to see you.
It's always an honor.
I shouldn't be seeing you like 3 months. It's not nice.
No, but you decided to evaporate.
I shouldn't evaporate.
Now you have become cube, so I can see you.
Forgive me, it's good to see you. I hope you're well.
It's an honor, it's an honor.
How was the last camp? How was it? Very well?
Well, I mean, last year was exciting. It was themed, equipped for every good work. And you know that good hearts produce good work.
Yes.
And so the boys came in their numbers and we had a good time. This year promises to be an experience. It's not an event, but an experience.
Right. I mean, for years as a country, we've always talked about how we can raise the girl-child app, girl-child education, how can we encourage women empowerment? It's the women. And the question started to come up that how are we also raising the boys up to be able to take care of these all-empowered women? And so I see that the boys, the Brave Boys boot camp may just be towing that line. Tell me about it.
You know, many things have happened. 2015, we started an initiative called Mobilizing Males. And it was a forum for fathers and sons, boys and men, to hear the same content. So there's no gap in terms of how we are developing and forming these boys. And out of that, a burden ensued. And that was to give critical attention to our boys and the way they were being formed. You know, I have worked with young people over 3 decades and 6 years. So I have learned a lot in terms of how we have built our girls to be responsible and responsive to the needs and demands of society. What I have seen is that our boys largely, in terms of intentional formation, have been left to themselves. Now, as I sat on university campus for 15 years as students' counselor, I have also seen how my boys were nearly becoming a nuisance to the girls. Now, my mother, I always say, was a housewife. My wife is a corporate executive. My father was prepared to live with a housewife. I was not prepared to live with a corporate executive. I've had to learn on the job. And so our intention is to prepare a new boy for the new woman. Because these boys would have to be groomed to become believable. Somebody must believe in you. Because increasingly, a lot of women can't trust men, and we need believable boys who can be groomed into godly gentlemen. And these gentlemen will be the ones that will draw attraction between them and the ladies, because women get attracted to tenderness and trustworthiness.
Right.
Not the rough and tough which is being taught on mainstream social media. And so we're hoping that this year, our theme being Forge Forward, we are going to get these boys to move forward, grow increasingly in 4 spaces. The first space, we're going to look at masculinity matters.
Okay.
There's a lot of discussion on toxic masculinity. We want to turn it around in a conversation where these boys can develop authentic masculinity, because masculinity is not a bad concept, as it were. The second area we're going to look at is what we call social savviness. Social savviness is how you become culturally sensitive and intelligent, how you become socially responsive and responsible. And so we have themes like how to relate with your mother and a woman in authority over you. Then we have another theme, how to relate with your sister and your peer who is a female. We want to help these boys to see that when you see a girl, it's not a target to be shot down. Because there's a certain unwritten maxim in the minds of a lot of boys, as I have dealt with over the years, that if you got a girl, you got a game. And so he's looking to shoot you down and add you to his trophies. Now, how do we get these boys to relate with women in a far more civilized, humane fashion?
How easy or difficult has it been trying to get people to understand this concept?
Well, I mean, if you aim at changing everybody at a go, you will not succeed. You'll be frustrated and you abandon sale. And so that's why we have small numbers. These are not huge meetings with large numbers. No, this is small. And for every 10 boys, we have a chaperone.
Okay.
For every 10 boys, we have a chaperone. So once they sign on to the program, they have a chaperone who walks with them throughout the period. They actually live together in the same dormitory. They sit at the same table to eat, because we're also watching how they carry themselves around the table. Table manners is a very important part of our conversation. And these boys are not allowed to come with any technical or digital device at all. It's prescribed. All calls go through the chaperone. So we know who. There's a call log. Whoever calls in and every call that is sent out is monitored. We don't allow digital devices, and we allow the boys to know that this is a formation. So, for instance, they report at 12, and we exit the program at 12. We want to show them that you need to be consistent with what you do. We also emphasize a lot on spirituality.
Okay.
Because there's too much chaos around spirituality. It's just not good. Because spirituality is not meant to intimidate anybody. Spirituality is aimed to build you up with muscles of values and virtues that makes you one who is upright in your community. There may be chaos, there may be untoward behaviors, but you must show appropriate behavior. And so we will be dealing with that as well. Now, a big elephant in the room is sexuality.
Okay.
We're going to discuss what we call sane sexuality.
Say again, sane sexuality.
Sane, yeah.
What do you call sane sexuality? What do you call sane sexuality?
You know, sexuality is who you are and how you relate, basically. Yeah? That's what it is. Now, there's too much insanity around the subject of sexuality, bordering on the margins of debauchery. And now, how can we get these young people to understand that sexuality is not a bad idea? It's not such a bad concept. So we want them to build soundness in themselves. And there ought to be sanity that is taught to them. You are a sexual being. Raging hormones are in you as an adolescent. Those things don't make you awkward. You may have sporadic erections, even with or without a woman around. You sleep. I have had boys who come to me and say, I'm having children in the spirit because I have wet dreams. Now, somebody needs to teach that boy you're not having any children in the spirit. Because spirits impregnate spirits.
Not human.
Carnal beings cannot impregnate spirits. You know, and we need to have those conversations.
Right.
And then on the Sunday, between 10 and 12, parents will be there.
Okay.
They are supposed to be seated by 10 o'clock. And the service starts is our Forge Forward commissioning service.
Okay.
And that is where we talk to them about going into the war zone.
Okay.
We let these boys see the world as a war zone. So you've got to go into the world battle ready, fitted well from all sides, and make sure that you take your battles appropriately. And it's not every battle you must fight. Some battles you must leave.
Okay.
And it is during the commissioning service. So, for instance, every boy, as you may have heard my testimony, at the age of 30 plus, I was still a virgin.
Congratulations.
And these young boys, thank you, but really it doesn't make you better than anybody. It's basically a virtue that you must espouse as a young person. And these boys are coming in at a young age.
Yeah. What's the age bracket again?
From 8 upwards to 22.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're having students from all over the place coming in. And we want it to be a meeting where these boys will look up to during the summer holidays. And next year, guess what? After a lot of requests that I've received at my table, we're introducing the girls' edition.
Okay.
It is
My age is allowed?
It's called the Leadership and Legacy Camp for Girls.
Okay.
Because we're losing leadership in Ghana. Many of our girls look like us. And something needs to be done. If we don't decide that we're going to raise, because the concept of leadership is a woman who exudes excellence, social propriety. So we are going to have, these boys are going to have this. It's called My Chastity Commitment. You can look at it.
Oh, they commit.
They commit. Signature signed. Your parents will sign for you. This year's edition, the camp commandant and camp director, which is myself, would also witness for you as a boy.
Oh, that's
and you
impressive.
keep that. And this is resolution for fathers to make a commitment they're going to raise their sons. So fathers will sign this and mothers will sign off. If you're a father raising your son alone, myself and the camp commandant would also witness for you.
Okay.
And it's also a resolution that fathers make. We are intentional about this. We are not in a hurry to raise 1 million boys. No. We want to raise a critical minority voice that would be catalytic in their change. It's like a pebble. You throw a pebble in a pool of water, the ripples go.
Sure.
We want these boys, whether they're in the classroom, whether they're in their neighborhood, their community, in the country at large, on campuses, should see themselves as agents of change in the way boys are seen, in the way boys are treated, and in the way boys relate with women.
This sounds really good. And so you, it's starting from what, 6th of
Wednesday
August?
the 6th to Sunday the 10th of August. And this year we're doing it around North Legon. There's a facility there called Camp Elim. It's on the 4th Street, 36 North Legon. That's the GPS if you're using Google. Now, so parents are required to bring their boys exactly by 12 o'clock. Parents who can't do that would have to place a call to me or the camp commandant to make special arrangement to drop off the boys in the morning.
Okay.
Because we are aware that it's a working day. But on the Sunday, every parent must endeavor to be seated by 10 a.m.
Okay.
Because that service is a 2-hour session. That's where we give our prices. The boys, we have a formal night, and they dress formally, either in kaftan or a Ghanaian traditional outfit or, Western style jacket.
Let's share the numbers that they can call. Because,
so to call, to reach the camp director is 020-936-9199. May I repeat the number? 020-936-9199. If you want to reach the camp commandant, his number is 0245-396-719. 0245-396-719. These numbers, if you want your son to participate, you can send a WhatsApp. The registration link would be sent to you. We have currently only about 15 beds left.
Okay.
We're almost done with our number. We are expecting 80 boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for...
it's an honor always to be in your warm company and to see your toothpaste smile.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you. We've been talking to Elder Amos Kevin, and you don't want to miss this year's Brave Boys Boot Camp with the theme Forge Forward. You want to call the numbers and be part of it. Numbers, the seats are just running out. The beds, we should say, are running out. So please register quickly. This is the AM show. Samuel Kojo Brace comes up with a big story. Please stay.
Well, welcome back to the AM show. And from Ablekuma North rerun, the violence that ensued and matters arising to rogue security in the fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, we engaged today the ranking on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Reverend Team Fordjour. Good morning.
Good morning, Kojo.
Okay. Great. All right. But let's start from your party, because you're having your National Delegate Conference tomorrow, right?
Very much so.
At the University of Ghana Sports Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah. What are the preparations so far?
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me on your show. We are having our national conference tomorrow. We are expecting all our delegates and executives across the country to gather, thousands of them, and we are praying for them to come safely, for the Lord to take them and bring them safely and grant them journey mercies. Because tomorrow we are going to consider some key proposals, constitutional amendments into our constitution that will reposition us in our poise to regain power in 2028. We had Professor Quay committee going around the whole country, engaging party stalwarts, grassroots, getting feedback from them. And out of that, there was a need to be able to make some specific amendments. There was a need to have certain expansions and changes in our internal structure. All these amendments, there was a committee that was set up and received proposals. So all that the grassroots have spoken to the party, the changes they want to see, National Council will have to adopt those proposals that will pass. And so that's why we're gathering. It's the highest, decision-making body of the party. And tomorrow we're expecting that the several, hundreds of proposals that are going to strengthen the party, revitalize the party, even make it more attractive, will pass for us to reorganize ourselves and poise for victory.
Okay, interesting. So tomorrow is all about looking at the changes you make to your constitution?
Absolutely.
I mean, when the Professor Okwe committee was going around, we heard of the party people saying that you need to expand your base. Is that something you're considering? People said, let all members of the party vote.
The expansion was very key. It's topical. Grassroots sentiment is that you want to expand. They want to see some expansion. You know, to the extent of the expansion, conference will determine. Okay. Some have had various proposals. Some are proposing, you know, one man, one vote. Some are also proposing some limited expansion. And all those brilliant proposals related to expansion, they are in various shades. But tomorrow, we'll see the popular expansion proposal that will carry the day. Okay. But at the end of the day, I can assure you that the party is poised to have an expansion, but to the extent of which we can only hope to see at the end of tomorrow.
Okay. But again, you've come under fire, I mean, the MPP, for trying to do a top-down approach in terms of your proposal to elect your flag bearer first. Why that one?
You know, many people have not understood the decisions that were taken, or I would say that some people clearly misrepresented the decision National Council took. There's nothing like top-down. You know, the conduct of the presidential election or the presidential primaries in MPP in our constitution is always isolated. It is decoupled from the internal elections that we conduct right from polling stations, electoral area, to constituency, to regional and national. That is completely separated from it. The two are delineated. So we have the internal elections and we have the conduct of presidential primaries. So if you recall, in 1998, when we suffered a defeat in 1996 with President John Ajekum Kufuor, when we obtained 39%, we thought that some very urgent measures had to be taken.
Oh, he had 39% there
at the time. 96. Yes, we obtained 39% at the time. And we thought that, no, we need to conduct an early presidential primaries. And so in 1998, we conducted early presidential primaries, decoupled it completely from the rest of the internal elections, and with the same delegates that had taken part in the election that culminated into his flag bearership in 1996 election. We were successful with that. And when we repeated him subsequently in 2000, we won. We had a very beautiful victory. And so it is not something that has never been done before. But what the decision National Council took was that we determined 31st January 2026 to be the date where presidential primaries will be conducted. When that is done, we'll come back to the rest of the internal elections and then started right from the bottom, go and conduct polling station, conduct electoral area, take it to constituency, regional, and all the way to national. But the reason why that decision became very popular was that in the Professor Okwe engagement committee, engagement with the rank and file, and various stakeholders and stalwarts of the party, one proposal that stood out so popular, which was a sentiment of the grassroots, was that they pushed strongly for early conduct of presidential primaries. Okay. All of them said that, look, last electoral cycle, we spent 3 years electing our internal officers right from polling station all the way to the president. By the time we were done and came to conduct the presidential primaries, it was a span of 3 years. And so a lot of cracks came in. And we had just barely a year to election, and we didn't have sufficient time to patch up. And so if you're going into an election, you need sufficient time to reconcile properly, because every internal election in any political party comes along with its attendance cracks. And so we needed to listen to the grassroots, who strongly proposed that as soon as possible, let us conduct the presidential primaries, get it done and over with. Then we come, expand our structures, and then we take it up, bottom all the way from polling stations, electoral areas. So we should add more to the polling station, add a bit to the electoral area, and then we'll come to the constituency, regional, and national. And so that is precisely what is playing out here. So it is not the case that we are going to conduct presidential primaries, and then after that we do national, we do regional, constituency. We never turn it upside down. Consistent with what we do. But this time, the presidential primary is going to be conducted early on. Kojo, we've never had a time in our history of democracy where an incumbent government has so politically persecuted political opponents like the way we are seeing it now. There is not a single week or month that the incumbent government does not storm the house of a former appointee or a former minister's house, and there's not a single time that they don't persecute our former appointees and party stalwarts. Oh, okay. So there are a lot of such that even go on, which don't even come to the attention of the media. They are inviting people here and there with that basis, you know, intimidating them, trying to gag them. A lot of things is going on. And then they are further emboldened to want to remove the Chief Justice. They are threatening further to remove EC chair, and so many atrocious things they want to do to bastardize our democracy. But in all of this, we don't have a certain precedent as a party, definitely, and we don't have a flag bearer presidential candidate. So that figurehead, that will be, you know, the champion around whom the rank and file will rally, who would set the vision, who will set a tone, who will engage CSOs, who will engage the diplomatic community, who would even dialogue with the president and say, we are all key actors, you know, in our governance structure and our democracy. These decisions, we disagree. And to lead that engagement for, you know, the political persecution to be toned down, it is not there. And so it is so important. And again, if we will be very honest with ourselves, in 2009, when we went into opposition, for about a year, there was no news on Rancor about who are aspiring to become the next flag bearer. For about a year, we didn't hear anything about that. For about a year, President Akufo-Addo had never even indicated forcefully that he was going to go again. We had the main contender, Honorable Alan Tremantin, was even all the way at WTO, you know, discharging his mandate creditably. And so we had that calm up until the following year, where everyone came up again to state their ambition. But we have a peculiar situation where barely weeks or months after our defeats, you know, we have very, you know, strong and very creditable, you know, stalwarts who within the party, about 8 of them, who have declared their intention to want to contest. All of them are fantastic gentlemen who want to, unfortunately we don't have a lady yet, but very fantastic gentlemen who have all indicated their intention to contest. Anytime you have presidential aspirants stating their interest very early on, you know, it sets a lot of, you know, division within the rank and file, from national, regional, constituency, all the way to the polling station and the grassroots. People take positions. And so if you do not conduct the presidential elections early on, and you wait till about 2 years before you are done with all the internal elections to conduct it, there will be so much cracks, and there will be limited time to heal the cracks before the main election 2028. And therefore, anyone who wants to become presidential candidate will be interested in who becomes a polling station executive, because all of them are going to vote for him eventually. He'll be interested in who becomes electoral area coordinator, who becomes constituency officer, who becomes regional officer, so who becomes national. So when those entrenched positions, imagine having 8 teams, 8 interests competing at various polling stations, electoral areas, constituency, regional, all the way to national. There'll be a lot of acrimony, a lot of rancor, a lot of animosity. And therefore, you are likely to get into a situation where, you know, you go for a conduct of a polling station, and somebody will say, because of some presidential interests, we are going to conduct the election, let's say 12 noon. By 10 a.m., you get there, it's been done like 7 a.m. because somebody wants to make sure he protects the process to get his people in there. And when that acrimony creeps in all the way to national, it would be terrible for our party. But when you conduct the presidential primaries first, get it done and over with, there will be time to unite all the 8 stalwarts who indicated the ambition, who were aspirants, and then that unified front is what we are going to take down. We will now have a very calm atmosphere, a very peaceful atmosphere, within which the conduct of the polling station elections will be done. And will be done without rancor. Okay. So very deserving, hard-working party people at the grassroots will get to be voted upon, and the best ones will win. Same for electoral area, same all on to constituency, to region, and to national, and we would have formed a formidable team at all levels to support the vision of whoever will emerge as the presidential candidate. So this is how it is going to be done. And so we are appealing to the general public and our party rank and file to disregard the other misrepresentations and misconceptions that were created around the decisions taken by National Council. So this is what it is, and it is in the best interest of the party's strength.
Okay, and you don't agree with people who say that this will inure to the benefit of the flag bearer that will be elected, that every other position will toe on his line, because if he wins, you have that influence, which will not augur well for the party.
So it's not a matter of control. It's a matter of teams that will work, because mind you, if you become presidential candidate, you haven't become president. So there's one thing becoming presidential candidates and another thing becoming president. So once you are elected presidential candidate, it is in your interest to ensure that the united front is built at the grassroots, and that no particular man wants to exert control, because not only your team members alone will not be sufficient to guarantee you the victory you need. If among the 8, whoever emerges, you will need the supporters from all the 7 other aspirants to be able to campaign strongly and forcefully to win. And so whoever emerges as a leader, it's in the interest of that candidate to unite everyone at the grassroots and not to interfere unduly in the conduct, and then allow the deserving ones, the hard-working ones at various structures to earn their positions and to be able to support the campaign and wage one that is very forceful and effective and united for victory. And that is exactly what is going to play out. I do not, for all the aspirants that have declared so far that I know, I do not think there's any single of them who would have any diabolical, intentions to want to take control. They are all very reasonable, people who have victory in sight and would want to do what is best for our party when they become candidates. So this is the best system.
Okay, but for the first time in a very long time, former President Kufuor, former President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo will not be at this conference. That's what I hear. Is that true, and why?
Yes, rather unfortunately, President Akufo-Addo and President Kufuor, their excellencies, will not be able to attend because they are out of jurisdiction on very important matters which unavoidably cannot make them available for the day. And we would have also loved, as a party, the party hierarchy also felt that a whole meeting was convened even to discuss this. A whole national council was convened. And in fact, the sentiment was that we so much cherish and desire the presence of our 2 former presidents. As a matter of fact, in Tree, there's an adage that says, you don't finish the meat without the father. And therefore, we cherish them to be part of what is going to happen tomorrow in person. But be that as it may, there are some constraints, and the date had been advertised long before this time, before the exigencies that were occasioned for our revered former presidents to be out of the country unavoidably. So plans are far advanced in terms of logistics, in terms of security arrangements, even booking accommodation for thousands of delegates that are coming. You had to resort to accommodation by university campuses, University of Ghana, UPSA. That wasn't even sufficient. We had to even go further to Anakazo, Bishop Dark's camp, to get extra facilities to accommodate our people who are coming from all over the country. So with that arrangement, the moment you change it to any other date, you will not have those facilities available, because now some of the continuing students in most of these campuses are not on campus, and so it makes it available. By the time you want to shift it to a more favorable date to accommodate our revered former presidents, they would have come in, the facilities will not be available. Even the very stadium where we're going to conduct. Soon the league is going to recommence, and it's not going to be available on weekends for our program. And so it will go for other considerations. Then we may have to consider another venue, another city, and then we also have Akwatia by-election right, ahead of us. And so by the time that we're able to determine another convenient date, we would have run into like 2-3 months, and then a lot of things would have delayed. So we took a position as National Council, and then an envoy, very important high-level envoy, were delegated to engage, our revered former presidents and to appeal to them that we really accept their desire to want to participate, but these are the constraints and for which we appeal, that they understand, and then they will participate, however, virtually. And that has been accepted in good faith, and we are all going to have it, with the spirit and presence, virtual presence of our former president solidly behind us. So there's no acrimony about that at all.
It is not about the fact that former President Kufuor said you left him out of the running.
No. It's not about that. In all good faith. Yeah.
You're all happy with it?
Very happy with the decision. Yes.
Oh. Well, this goes to, this is in yours, as people say, in yours to your camp, and that's why you are comfortable with it.
See, it's not about camp, it's about the party. And I think that a lot of misrepresentation had gone on, and that is why the truth is distorted. And I think that when the public gets these explanations, they will get to understand that there's really no rancor and there's really no acrimony in the party. And there's just facts that have been distorted out there.
So tomorrow, what time are you starting? What time are you ending?
Well, by early morning, by 9 a.m., even by 7 a.m., you find the place will be almost filled. But around about 8:30, 9, the whole program would have commenced.
As for the ending, you don't know that.
I'm not sure the time because we have a number of proposals to go through.
Let's delve into Ablekuma North. You saw what happened. What is your committee doing about what happened?
Today, right from your studio, we have a meeting. We have invited the Interior Minister, we've invited the Defense Minister and other key actors to a meeting where the IGP will be there, the Chief of Defense Staff and other key actors will be there. We're going to have some very important conversations. Ablekuma North is one of them. And that meeting is going to delve into the details, and for which I will not prejudice the discussion, but except to state that I am personally disappointed in the way that the government conducted themselves with the appointees, key appointees leading the charge in the rerun of Ablekuma North election. We're talking about 19 polling stations. And the turnout, when you put it together, all the people who came to vote, they were not even exceeding 4,800. But you have a key stalwart of NDC, Basintali, on social media, on videos, clearly mobilizing, calling for 5,000 men, and of course 5,000 tax, and subsequently we saw them deployed. And we saw them deployed, to the place. If you have over 4,800 going to vote, and you have 5,000 tax coming into the place, exceeding even the people who are going to. No, I'm saying that if you have just about 4,800 people going to vote, and then you are mobilizing 5,000 people tax to go there, what are they going to do? Are they voters? Are they going to vote? Are they Cordeo agents? Are they electoral officers? What role did they really have? Were they policemen? Were they security agents? So they didn't have any gravitas whatsoever, even to be there in the first place. But nobody condemned that. We saw subsequently the instructions they were given actually executed in videos. Former ministers of MPP were assaulted. Honorable Howard Kumsin was assaulted. We saw Honorable Daquan Newman assaulted, the deputy organizer. Yes, I didn't. She was right there with Honorable Howard Kumsin. That attack, they were together. And so she was equally assaulted. And then Chris Lloyd, Mr. Chris Lloyd, the deputy organizer of NPP, was also assaulted. And we have all the videos are abounding in the full glare of the police. And the videos and the pictures show clearly the faces of the culprits, the hooligans and the miscreants who exacted this violence. It's been a week. no arrest has been made. Rather unfortunate. Basintali is walking free, he has not been arrested. Hanabisu, the rather insensitive endorsement of the violence has not been dismissed, and they're all walking free, and the criminals who engage in these criminal acts have not been arrested and prosecuted. So what the government, President Mahama, is signaling to the youth out there is that so long as a political actor calls you out, emboldens you to a polling station to perpetrate any act of violence, you'll be protected. So now they're introducing color into crime, because if these people were not NDC and any ordinary person had committed these crimes, wouldn't they have been arrested within a day or minutes?
But the guys we saw in the video, they didn't have colors on them. How can you tell the NDC?
The NDC have come out. The NDC stalwarts have come out to say that they are their boys.
Who and who?
Well, nobody has denied them. So why are they not arrested? Why have they not been arrested? Because they were not MPP boys. They were not. And it was not the CPP. They didn't have any representation there. Cheddar didn't have any representation there. LPG didn't have any representation there. No political party had representations there. It was mainly MPP and NDC. And those NDC, MPP boys would never attack their former minister. You know, they are known NDC people, and their pictures are out there, the videos are out there, and to date, not a single arrest. You see, the Ghana Police Service, I know, and they are. I would never say anything to, to spite their integrity, because they are still very competent and they are very professionals. Even now, they are. The only challenge is that somebody is holding their hand back, put their hands behind them, and instructing them not to act. If that instruction is removed, even today, they will go and arrest them, because we have a professional, a fair police service who do not know political callous. And therefore, we are urging whichever that political hand is to stop the interference and allow the police to cause the arrests. Whoever gave them instruction that just go there and look on and let people do what they like. If we don't nip this in the bud, what's going to happen is that a very major threat which we have in this country, which is political vigilantism, is going to fester.
But are you saying there's a big hand because you know that is what happens, as in during your time you were doing that?
During that time, what happened was that when Ayawaso Westward violence took place, we all condemned it.
But we never saw any prosecution.
We saw commission of inquiry. What is bigger in holding people accountable for their crime than commission of inquiry? Because arising out of that, any element of criminality is prosecuted. So there's the biggest action that any
president... But those who were fingered out in that commission were left off.
Everybody was dealt with. There was no... See, the biggest action that you can take in such approach is when you even arrest and prosecute individuals. It is one action that is commendable, but it is not even to the point of dealing with it holistically, to the point of establishing presidential commission of inquiry into the matter transparently, so that all the hooligans will be there and they will be interrogated. Who sent them? Why they did that? And all that. So that other dimensions which were not even known to the public will come to the fore and be a deterrence to the larger community within the country. So that is what we did in our time. Okay. We didn't condone political violence. And what we saw in Ayawaso Westward, which we all condemned, just as we condemned any other political violence associated with any election time pass, was nothing close to what happened in a rerun of Ablekuma, just 19 polling stations. And so, if the corporates are not dealt with, you are going to find a political vigilantism emboldened. It's going to be a recipe for disaster. When it comes to this country today, as ranking member on Defense and Interior, I can tell you authoritatively that the threat of political vigilantism is way higher than the threat of violent extremism and terrorism in this country. I am telling you.
But then
the threat of political vigilantism. And if we don't nip it in the bud, a time will come we'll have no democracy, because whoever becomes MP, whoever becomes president, will not be by the determination of the thumbs of our citizens, will not be the declaration by electoral commission, but will be the determination of whichever political party has the most macho men and has the most violent people who rush to coalition centers and forcefully declare for themselves, like we saw in play out in 2020, 2024.
You are the ranking.
That is how come they have 187. Even the one that we won, that clearly just giving protection for EC, the court gave order, go to Ablekuma and declare. They still found a way to violently whisk it away from us. We don't have to continue.
Well, you are the ranking on the committee that has the opportunity to stop this from happening. What are you doing? You say you're going to meet them, but
yes,
really,
so that's
beyond
why,
that, what next?
And that is why I have given indication that one action we have taken is that we have held them before Parliament. All the key actors within the national security architecture who have key roles to play in nibbling this in the bud. We have called them right from your studio. We're going to have the meeting. But I am just indicating to you that the aspect I can relate to the public, because I don't have to prejudice the discussions. And so the aspect I can relate to you is that as we speak, a week on, we should have seen arrest. We should have seen prosecution. And the disappointment the Ghanaians are expressing is what I'm ferrying, and also to indicate that if this is not nipped in the bud, we're going to have political vigilantism, which is very dangerous. Now we have Akwetia coming. Do we want to set them up for bloodshed? MPP blood, NDC blood, they are all very important. We need each and every one of them alive. Lives must not be lost because an election is going to be conducted.
So the Security and Interior Committee, the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament is meeting the security...
Absolutely, architecture.
Okay, today.
And we hope that at the end of the meeting, we're going to have a very credible action that will not just be on paper, but will see commitment in putting those actions into play, arresting, prosecuting, showing deterrence, and putting in formidable measures to become a disincentive to people who want to engage in this act of political vigilantism.
If it becomes difficult for anybody to be arrested, will you be disappointed?
We'll have another step to take if it should get there. But I hope it will not get there. But if it gets there, there's another tool we will deploy.
What kind of step will you take when he gets
there? We have it, and I'm not going to release all my strategies here. Yeah, so we have them, and we'll work according to it in the best interest of our democracy, best interest of saving the precious lives that we have. If youth clash, macho men clash, and people are killed, if people are prevented from voting, if we don't stop a time will come, you put a ballot box at a polling station, nobody will go and vote. Nobody wants to go and get killed. Nobody wants to go and get battered. And so you put your box there, but only the macho man will go and vote. Yes, nobody will decide. So only your macho man will go and vote. You see, and we don't want just one group of people to decide. We want everybody to take place. We want our old women. We want people who have persons with disability. We want people who are peace-loving, who have nothing to do with MPP, NDC, but just want to decide in our democracy. Let them all feel free. But if this festers, nobody will go to the...
Will this meeting also look at Akwetia by-election, which of course is impending?
Ablekuma North lessons and fallouts and measures being put to nib it in the bud definitely have implications for Akwetia. And we'll have to also look at preparation. It's all part of the discussions we're going to
be having today. Okay. Yesterday I spoke to Dr. Tony Edu, and he said when it comes to Galamsey, he believes if we deploy the military men, he mentioned the names, 2 battalion or so, they can deal with it. You are on a committee that really has an oversight over this ministry.
Mr. Tonedu is a man I respect so much. As a matter of fact, he's a chief in one of the communities that is related strongly to a community within my constituency.
Dr. Tony Edu?
Yes.
Okay.
Dr. Tony Edu. And so you're talking about the CEO of...
No. I mean the...
Tony Edu, not Tony Obing.
Yes.
Okay. So
Dr. Tony Edu,
let me not confer any false title on Dr. Tony Edu.
I'm sure he's watching now.
But he's still, apart from the chieftaincy title, he's also a man I respect so much.
He's been a former deputy minister for
Dr. Tony Edu is a big stalwart, is a very big man in this country, and we all respect him. His views is his views. I have my disagreement.
Really?
Yes, on this particular...
That you can use the military to stop Galamsey?
I have my disagreement with that. Yes, the military will come in to assist. You see, the military have a core role they play. And we should not forget in this country that the Ghana Police Service is the institution that is so competently, established for such functions.
We're at war.
Yes, I know. I'm not in any way downplaying. I'm not in any way downplaying the sophisticated national security risk that Galamsey has posed now and continue to increase. But what I'm saying is that if we continue to rely on the military for everything, even including guarding personnel people, that is not. But they will come in. There are special operations in certain specialized high-risk areas, which they'll be required to come in to support, or a specific operation will be done for them to lead and to get it executed. That is there, and no one will take it away from them. Okay. But if we say that soldiers should be the frontliners in the fight against Galamsey, it's not going to be sustainable. Okay. Because Galamsey is not going to end today. Okay. So we need to adopt a sustainable approach. And my view is that the Ghana Police Service have to be resourced, have to be adequately resourced and empowered to be at the front line. And then not only that, because it's a national security risk. Okay. So it's a whole coordination. A number of other security agencies, including the military, as and when and the situations require, will be required to come in. But let the Ghana Police Service be front and center of it. All right. And at some point, national security will come in, NIB will come in, and then but the river guards, they have no significant role to play.
I'm grateful. Reverend Ntim Fordjour is Member of Parliament for Asin South constituency. He is ranking on the Defence and Interior Committee of Parliament, and we had that chat with him. Now, before we go, let me wish this young lady from Jabin Chrome a happy birthday. So this is coming from your father, Raymond, and she says, a blessed birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you and keep elevating you and make you, a leader of your generation. You are 5 years today. Your name is Auntie Akosia JC. Auntie Akosia JC. A big happy birthday to you. Grow to be big in this country. And regards to all Jabin Chrome people in Ahanta West. Now, also, a blissful, belated birthday to you, Miss Florence Sanka. You are popularly known as Adezewa of Fast Blocks in Takrade. On your 50th birthday, the prayer is that may the good Lord lift you higher into bigger realms with blessings of good health, wealth, and prosperity. And this is coming from your bestie, Ella, of Ghana Health Service in Second D. Yeah. Okay. On this note, I thank you very much.
Today is the birthday of my constituency secretary, Elvis Bosomtrain. So God bless him and preserve him and increase him. But on a rather sad note, I'm in black for most parts of the past 2 weeks because of the passing of my very good friend and dear brother, the late Honorable N.S. Yakumi. May his soul rest in peace. Condolences to his family and his constituents and the MPP fraternity. Yesterday was a very sad day in Parliament when the respected majority leader, rather unlike of him, came to pass some unfortunate remarks, very insensitive. Even when the Speaker of Parliament was, admonishing him and directing him on the right path, he kept insisting, and he created the impression that all that NDC is interested in is the seats and not the sensitivity to the people who have lost their beloved, and insisting that we begin to count the number of days to the by-election right from the day that, and Speaker said, please, this is a sensitive matter. And your colleague Member of Parliament has passed. Let us wait for the family to officially write to the Speaker. All those by-elections, it will be determined. It will be done in any way. So the NDC should not assume a posture that all they care about is just taking seats, including and members of Parliament that they persecuted until they died. They shouldn't. Lives are so important. You have 187. It wasn't enough for you. You went and and bullied a widow, took her seat. Now you want to target her.
We are grateful.
So let's assume a loving, more caring, pathetic post.
Thank you very much, Reverend Ntim Fordjour. And that's it for the big stories today. Up next is the beautiful Noella Karian Yale with what? E-Corner. Just stay tuned for that.
yeah, I'm back, guys. I know I've been missing in action for what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks you haven't heard from me on E-Corner, by the way. I mean, on television, you have been seeing me. But bringing you E-Corner, I've been missing in action, and I know you can put all the blame on me. Forgive me. But I did miss you a great deal. I hope you did miss me too. And yeah, a lot of teas have been brewing. We've been missing out on a lot of quality tea, but don't worry, I'm going to make it up for you right here on the show. So yeah, if you're watching, buckle up, get your tea cups ready, because I'll be serving right after this. I'm Noella Karanyali. All right, so you're welcome back, and I'm going to do something that I probably haven't done before. I'm going to do sports. I'm going to start the segment with sports. Something has to do with sports and a little bit of entertainment, right? So let's talk about Mohamed Kudus, all right? You know him. I know that you know he is a Black Star player, one of our very great exports. Until a few weeks ago, he was West Ham's most valuable player. I do say so myself. And he has, you know, he's been transferred, I should say, from West Ham to Tottenham Hotspur, which is the former President Akufo-Addo's favorite club. And I want to share with you first the details of the signing, and I'll tell you how this also sits very well with entertainment. So we understand that he was signed for a whooping £55 million, Charlie. These footballers, they're enjoying £55 million. Some also are citing some £54.5 million. Either ways, it's huge money. Also, we understand that he signed for a total of 6 years, and so his contracts will be running through to 2031. And for his weekly wage, he's going to be earning approximately £150,000 per week. On the other for £150,000 per week. I mean, in a year, we're looking at a total of £7.8 million in a year. It's not how Kati SOT. It's how Kati SOT. That's just on the lighter side. But yeah, it's an outrageous amount of money. But if you look at, I mean, the quality of football he plays, you know that definitely he deserves that amount of money. Charlie Kudus, £100,000 per £100,000 per. Why? For my charity. Why? But anyway, that's it. But you know, Tottenham Hotspur, they were so thoughtful. I mean, I think they had studied him. They knew that he had a beautiful, special bond with musician Stonebwoy, whom I'll be talking more, about. And so they thought of, calling Stonebwoy up and telling him to do something really special in terms of like a sign-on song they could use to sign him on. And Stonebwoy did the wonderful, honorable thing of refixing his, chart-topping song Overlord just for him. So he customized the song just for Kudus. And it was a beautiful, unveiling, if you like. Take a look.
Come over. Show you a little surprise. Come over. So we've been working with Stonebwoy, and you have your own track.
Really?
That them Who said them are the champion that me never hear. See them a fan fool that them fi come back another year. Oh, Kudus they talking them and him a go mash it up in every game. He got the pattern and style of as a kick me the name. Get to use from Nima, straight out of Ghana. Rise up the banner in a every corner. Up on the pitch, he max up the banner. Alhamdulillah, champion. One star, one leader, all eyes on you. Champion. I leave him cool, but a dream come true. Champion. This champion.
What do you think?
I hear the track, he be mad.
Be crazy with this.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
the lyrics there.
We don't sleep, we just mix inside yesterday, no, I don't see my eyes.
The lyrics, they sleep inside itself, the day inside.
Crazy turnaround.
Yeah, mad. Your guy there, yeah, in August, if you pull up stadium, another shutdown. Respect. CJ! Bye. Pa, me and them now. All right, brother. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Preaching my top corner, alhamdulillah.
I mean, this is beautiful. I love romances like this, and the bromance between the Stone Boy and Kudus is just so beautiful. From, you know, an elder brother to a little brother. I don't know their age difference, but yeah, that was really, really beautiful. So yeah, once again, congratulations to Kudus for, you know, that transfer. Actually, it's record breaking because I hear since 2011 there hasn't been any, you know, direct transfer from West Ham to Tottenham Hotspur, and so yeah, that's very, you know, it's laudable to note. Anyway, as we all expected, when this video was released, a lot of Ghanaians, especially on social media, they got talking. And they got talking a lot of negatives, you know, very typical of us, right? We always like to focus on the negatives of things and not the positives. And so a lot of people started talking, oh, Stone Boy, no, yeah, I don't know how to translate that from Tree to English. You can help me. Or self-arrangements. So yeah, a lot of people had a lot of opinions to share. Oh yeah, he did a thing. Tottenham didn't pay him. Was he paid? Was he not paid? Well, Stone Boy has been on a multimedia tour this week. He came by the Multimedia, Group Limited. He went to Asempa, went to Hits, came to Joy Prime. But specifically, I want to bring you an interview he had on Hits FM addressing whether or not he was paid by Tottenham Hotspur. From the horse's own mouth. Listen.
The profit Ghana and the profit Stone Boy, profit Kudus as well. So, you know, say this particular champion, people they mention some billions, some dollars. People they mention some monies than things. I say, hey,
okay.
They enter the camp.
All right. So people they mention, but I think what Stone Boy mentions is what we're interested in.
Exactly.
But what if I'm not supposed to mention because of disclosure clause?
Okay.
Disclosure clause.
Okay.
You see, so sometimes it doesn't hurt if people are speculating the figures, etc. I don't think it's bad news. It's just their own ideas.
Right.
While some put a meager amount to it, others put a very huge amount to it. However, there is value, which is most important. So the value is not only benefiting me, the creator or the artist, neither is it benefiting only the footballer, but it's benefiting both of us and Ghana. And this is an opportunity that I think we will definitely continue to leverage.
Very intelligent response, if you ask me. I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to know whether he was paid or not, or the amount involved. He says there was value. And I agree. I mean, even if he did it for free, to have Tottenham Hotspur actually reach out to you, and I don't think they will reach out to him for free, okay? I don't think Tottenham is that cheap. They were paying Kudus £150,000 a week. You don't think they're going to pay him? They're definitely going to pay him. But even if he even did it for free, there's value in that. The fact that you got a whole football club, an English football club, reaching out to you, asking you to do a refix of your song, and they posted this on your platform, social media platforms, that would translate to a lot of streaming numbers, right, for Stone Boy. And that automatically is money as well. So either ways, however you look at it, it's a win, okay, for all of the people involved in this deal. And that's all there is to the Tottenham Hotspur deal with Kudus, Stone Boy. But let's still stay with Stone Boy a little bit, because I told you he came on a multimedia tour this weekend. He's been talking a lot. Now, you remember that back in, I think, January, after the NDC won last year's election, they had an event coming up, a victory concert. And I remember Stone Boy was one of the musicians billed to perform on that, event. And then a lot of, you know, the grassroots members of the NDC kicked against it. Why? Because they thought his blood, you know, his blood was more of blue and red, if you know what I mean. He was more of an NPP artist or creative than an NDC person. And so they kicked against it till he was dropped from the bill. And so I was particularly surprised when he came by the Hit Studio and he was asked about the current government, what he makes of, you know, I mean, they've been in government for 7 months, right? What does he make of their governance so far, ruling so far, and, you know, the policies they've introduced and all of that? What does he make of these things that the NDC have put in place so far? And he had quite a positive approach with his answer. Listen.
Stoneboy, what do you make of the NDC administration?
It's really and truly,
right.
I will take it from what I make of the government.
Right.
You know, in as much as we know is the NDC that is in administration. And of course, Ghana voted heavily, and we've seen the representation in parliament. It is a huge NDC majority, which means that Ghanaians believe in the manifesto of the NDC, led by our own very president, President John Mahama, Dramani Mahama. Exactly. The performances, I think, are good so far. They've been in power for only almost 7 months.
Yeah.
But so many things have been done right. And then so many other, you know, controversies coming up a lot. I mean, I'm very comfortable to speak on this because you and I are spectators. We don't hold any political power. We only have influence in our creative space that we use to at least shift some notions and some motives. And I think that with the appointment, one of the things that I saw I saw that people gravitated to, especially the young ones in the creative space, was the creative appointment, which is like Kafui Danku being the creative for arts. No?
All right, so there you have it, Stoneboy. I think he's a very smart, you know, man, very, very smart, if you ask me. But yeah, you heard him laud the government for a good job done so far, and also laud them for appointing a lot of creatives into positions of governance, which I agree with him as well. I think it's a good thing the government did. But let's quickly move away from him and talk about, I'm contemplating, do I bring you Vibes Cartel or Calibos? Let's bring Vibes Cartel. Now, Vibes performed at this year's Wireless Festival. For those of you who do not know what Wireless is about, it's a music concert in the UK. And this year, the concert had Drake headlining all 3-day events. And I think for the second day, Drake performed alongside Vibes Cartel. Now, Vibes brought his own set, brought Spice, brought Steph London, and brought my girl Molly. That's the performance you're seeing on your screens. Maybe we should give you a little bit of sound up and come back with more. So look, anytime Molly's song plays, definitely I'm gonna bust the move, that's for sure. But yeah, that was Vibes Cartel performing alongside Steph London and my girl Molly. It was a beautiful performance. And then we heard the rumor that apparently Vibes is planning on holding a concert in Ghana this December, and this is going to be his first African destination, I want to believe. So yeah, it's a huge deal. And then we had Ampofo Ankara also coming from the National Sport Authority, coming to tell us that it's true. they are in talks with Vice Cartel in terms of securing the stadium for his concert. And so fingers crossed that happens. And, you know, Vibes, obviously, I'm thinking he should come with Bounty Killer or somebody. Come with Shabarang. So, you know, some of those hardcore dancehall legends. Come along with them. Spice as well. And then, yeah, let's have a great December this year. I'm really looking forward to that. I would have brought you a last story, but unfortunately, time is not my best friend now. But before I go, let me share with you a birthday shout, very, very special birthday shout. If I do not, you know, do this birthday shout, I'd be in huge trouble. So yeah, this is from, first of all, happy 40th, okay? Happy 40th to my forever girl, Mrs. Delna Dodu. 40 looks amazing on you, even after 4 trips to the Labour Theatre with sheer victory. You haven't just built a family, you've nurtured a legacy of love and laughter and a whole lot of snacks hidden from the kids. So here's to you, Delna, the real MVP, my queen. You've still got it, and by it, I mean everything. And that's from Superintendent Dr. Frank Dodu. I believe that's your husband? Yeah. So yeah, happy birthday, ma'am, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Also, happy birthday to Beatrice Drewa of the University of Ghana. May the lines fall in pleasant places for you today and always. And that is from your parents and your siblings. They say they love you, and I love you too. Also, happy birthday to the most amazing twins. That's Dalen and Delna. Your strength, kindness, and bright smiles light up our lives every day. We're so proud of you and love you deeply. Also, wishing you both a joyful, fulfilling year ahead. Enjoy every moment of your special day with much love from Mom, Dad, and your sweet baby sister Sarah, and myself, Auntie Nuala from E-Corner. So yeah, happy birthday to all birthday celebrants. I love you guys all, and that's it. That's how we wrap up on E-Corner and on the AM show as well. Unfortunately, Kojo Brace can't join me, so we wrap up together. So on his behalf, the whole team's behalf, I say have a beautiful weekend. I'm Noella Caranielli. See you next Friday.